In 2026, everything went else. A crisis beyond science just dropped out of nowhere and flipped the world into chaos. Giant insects crawled up from underground, steamrolling cities like it was nothing. They burrowed deep and ripped open countless abyss gates to unknown dimensions. Inside those gates, glowing eyes stared back, and humans called these deadly dungeon-like zones the Abyss. Humanity split in two, those altered by the abyss radiation and those who couldn't adapt, and a rare few awakened supernatural abilities. The rest became bottom-tier labor, struggling to survive, while a cold voice barked orders, "Hurry up, pull harder." Joey, drenched in sweat, pushed a massive monster carcass onto a truck with a bulky man, counting down before using every last bit of strength. They collapsed right after, gasping, hearts pounding like they might explode. Joey looked up, only to see the captain towering right in front of him. Before he could react, a brutal slap landed across his face. The captain snarled, stopped slacking and quit acting pathetic, and Joey just held his burning cheek in silence. Suddenly, another monster covered in sharp teeth crawled toward them from afar. Joey's face went pale as fear drained every drop of blood from his body. Under the dim light, even the captain froze, realizing the nightmare wasn't over. There's another one alive. People screamed and scattered, running for their lives while someone shouted, "Run." As the captain fled, he saw Joey sprinting past him, fast as the wind. A cruel thought flashed in the captain's mind, "At this rate, I won't make it." A twisted smile crept onto his face. Then a dry gunshot cracked through the air. The bullet tore into Joey's leg and blood splashed everywhere. He stumbled, body tilting as he nearly fell. Shaking from the pain, he turned back, eyes blurry, searching for the shooter. The captain stood there, gun still smoking, not even hiding it. Joey collapsed, clutching his leg and crying out, "My leg," while the captain grinned in satisfaction. He stepped over him and said coldly, "Useless guys like you exist for moments like this." Lying on the cold ground, Joey finally understood. He was just bait to buy time. His weak hand reached out, mindful of questions. Why is simply surviving this hard? Tears slid down his face as he whispered, "Someone without abilities like me was doomed from the start." A small snake suddenly slithered past his hand. It caught Joey's exhausted gaze. He felt a bit of envy. In this apocalypse, maybe snakes had it easier. They could eat anything and survive anywhere. Even the abyss radiation couldn't wipe them out. The monster was almost on top of him, and in that final moment, he thought about his next life. If he could be reborn as a snake, that wouldn't be so bad. And then, as if answering his secret wish, a system activated, launching a supernatural evolution process. Reconstruction failed again and again. On the 1999th attempt, it finally succeeded. The scene shifted to a filthy, dark alley. He raised his hand, but what he saw was clearly not a human arm. Near a shattered pane of glass, Joey moved closer, spotting something that looked like a mirror. His shadow reflected in the glass, but he didn't realize it until he leaned in and suddenly screamed. In the mirror was a snake seen through human eyes, and on this side was the snake himself. Joey froze in shock. "Wait, that's me? Oh, come on, did I seriously turn into a snake?" He checked his body and noticed 2 extra arms. Weirdly enough, they felt completely natural. His gaze slid down his back and stopped at a strange bulge along his trapezius. He twitched slightly and boom, wings burst open and lifted him into the air. Wait! Before he could react, he slammed straight into a wall and dropped hard to the ground. Rubbing his head, Joey muttered, "So when I flex my back muscles, the wings move." He groaned in regret. "If I knew my last wish would actually come true, I'd have picked something cooler." The system suddenly snapped back. "Humans are never satisfied. Are you mocking the insect god?" It crossed its arms, clearly annoyed. "For 5,000 years, you're the first human to beg the insect god for power, and I was ready to grant you the strongest gift." Joey instantly switched attitudes, eyes shining with panic and hope. He dropped to his knees. "Big bro system. No, dear father, I was wrong. Please take it back." But the insect god just stared at him, completely expressionless. Then it flapped its wings and vanished into thin air. A cold notification echoed, "System closed. You have been disliked by the insect god." Joey sank into despair, realizing he had offended his only lifeline. The next few days were miserable as he kept shouting, "System, come back." No matter what he tried, the system stayed silent, and he almost broke down. 2 snakes nearby watched him like he was crazy, and that's when Joey realized he could understand their conversations. On the first night under the pale moon, he curled up alone in a dark corner. Even if he joked about being a snake, now that it was real, he still found himself disgusting. Then he saw them eating poop, and yeah, he threw up on the spot. Xiaopang, happily chewing, noticed him staring. The little guy slithered over excitedly. "Bro, you gotta eat it fresh. Baby snakes grow by eating other snakes' waste." Joey, stuttering, he yelled, "Don't come closer," and kicked Xiaopang away. Xiaopang rolled on the ground, looking heartbroken. "You've hurt my feelings, man." Joey felt a bit guilty but still snapped back, "Sorry, but your mouth smells like crap. Can you die first then talk?" On the second night, Joey lay flat on the cold ground, tears slipping down as he muttered, "I'm actually starting to think it smells kind of good." Starving and dizzy, he whispered, "I need real food or I might end up diving into a pile at midnight." He dragged himself to a sealed black trash bag. Snake instincts blocked the smell, but his human brain kicked in. With a spark of hope, he tore it open, relying on leftover human survival skills. After digging around, he found a snack pack that had expired 3 years ago. Jackpot, or so he thought. Inside was moldy salted egg pastry, and the system coldly reported expired food detected approximately 385 called consumable. He grimaced and backed away. 3 years expired. That's straight up nightmare fuel. But his stomach growled like crazy, completely betraying his pride. Joey reluctantly chewed the pastry, tears in his eyes. Wait, why does this smell amazing? Humans couldn't eat it, but as a snake, it was gourmet. He dragged himself through 10 whole days, and the insect god still ghosted him. I thought life would be easier as a bug, he sighed, but reality slapped him hard. He even considered suicide to restart, but as a snake, he couldn't drown, couldn't fall to death, even pesticide barely worked, so his only option was finding a natural predator to eat him. Thinking about that last monster still made his body shake, but honestly, just imagining death again felt unbearable. Looking at the other snakes sleeping nearby, he clenched his jaw. Fine, I'll just live better than all of you. Even without a golden finger, he smirked, with my human brain I can still dominate. He nudged Xiaopang. Hey fatty, your bones look promising, wanna follow me? Xiaopang turned away coldly. Get lost. Sitting alone, Zhou Yi realized ruling snakes wasn't about his comfort, it was about whether they thought he was thriving. A spark lit in his mind. I need a chance to prove myself. On the 20th day after rebirth, that chance finally came. The leader snake announced, we're moving to a new feeding ground. Anyone who won't follow can stay and die. Xiaopang wailed the loudest, there's no more poop to eat, and Zhou Yi mocked them. You're the worst squad ever, too lazy to flip trash, just waiting to eat leftovers. Xiaopang cried harder, I'm scared to go out, and Zhou Yi snapped, shut up, you're annoying me. He looked around and saw the others trembling too. Wow, even snakes are homebuddies. He challenged them, anyone brave enough to scout first? Don't keep your heads down. Total silence, not a single snake moved. Zhou Yi crossed his arms, fine, I never planned to rely on you anyway. Suddenly the system's cold voice rang out, the insect god says, if you accept this mission, forgiveness may be considered. Instantly revived, Zhou Yi shot up with burning determination. I volunteer to lead. Xiaopang stared at him with sparkling eyes, big bro is so brave. Zhou Yi grinned slyly, nice, my comeback starts now. The scene shifted to the base of a massive dam, where 2 snakes hid in the weeds. He frowned, the mission is just crossing this dam. Feels way too easy, while Xiaopang trembled, what do you know? Xiaopang explained, whenever food runs out, the leader sends young snakes to scout new territory. But this world is full of predators, the survival rate of scout teams is brutally low. Zhou Yi felt his heart sink, wait, isn't this basically suicide? He narrowed his eyes, as the insect god setting me up to die, to calm his anger. Not falling for that, he growled, forget it, let's retreat, I've got other ways to get food. But Xiaopang suddenly went pale and limp, because the leader snake had silently appeared right behind Zhou Yi. He interrogates him cold as ice, asking where he thinks is going, then casually tempts him with something even darker. Past this dam, he says, there's a full buffet of monsters. First come, first served. Zhou Yi rubs his hands, eyes lighting up. The snake can eat mutant beasts now. That's busted. Guess is never starving again. He turns to Xiaopang and makes up an excuse. I'm on a diet. You guys eat. Don't save me anything. The leader scans Zhou Yi with a sharp glare. Then suddenly he moves. In a flash, he grabs Zhou Yi by the throat and hisses, scout ahead or you become our dinner. Zhou Yi struggles, but the grip is like iron. Even as a bug, he can't escape the law of the strong crushing the weak. The past hits him hard. His face goes pale, remembering those nightmare days. Back then, their weak squad was used as bait by the outpost manager to search for food. That guy stood on stage screaming they were useless trash, calling it a reward to send them out to die. Now this leader throws Zhou Yi, still in snake form, off the cliff and says he should be grateful for the chance to survive. The man steps on his head, crushing him down on purpose, just to scare him. But inside Zhou Yi something ignites. Has done being bullied like this. He realizes being a bug that can eat anything isn't enough. In the apocalypse, he needs his golden finger back. In the darkness, his voice is firm, he has to get stronger. He leads the snake squad across the jagged rocks, moving carefully. Spread out and climb. If anything moves, signal immediately. Then he snaps at Xiaopang. Stop sticking so close, the chubby kid trembles, clinging to him. I'm scared. Zhou Yi stays silent, clearly thinking. He scans the area, this dam feels off. It's not even near a river, so why are there wave-worn rocks? One of the leader's lackeys shouts impatiently. We're halfway up and nothing's happened. Let's move already. The leader smirks greedily. No way is letting these bugs eat the good stuff first. He orders his men to fly straight across. If there's danger, let the bugs take it. Zhou Yi watches them go, frustration heavy in his chest. They can fly just fine. So why force us to scout? Too focused on them, he doesn't notice the rocks around him starting to shift. He turns back and a massive eye suddenly opens in the dark. Yeah, not good. That's when it hits him. Those rocks were never rocks. They're mutae, perfectly camouflaged, waiting for prey. Xiaopang glances once and instantly tears up, frozen in fear. Long tongues shoot out like arrows toward the tiny snakes. Screams rip through the air. Zhou Yi tries to warn them, but it's too late. He shouts, voice cracking, run! Get into the air! Right then, the system activates. Natural predator detected. Extracting biological data. Mutated frog. Amphibian, powerful hind legs. Jump distance 20 times body length. Tongue fires at 4 meters per second with barbed hooks and paralytic mucus. Weakness, poor vision when prey stays still. Zhou Yi's heart pounds. Is this how he dies? He forces himself calm. Don't move, they can't see prey that stays still. Lie flat, don't move. Right then, he flinches as the insect god suddenly appears, floating in front of him like a jump scare. Turns out it had been watching Zhou Yi the whole time, and now it offers him a choice. 1. Reveal a safe escape route. 2. Save a snake, meet the Snake King, and gain his first loyal servant. Zhou Yi hesitates hard, brain tied in knots. A soft sob behind him snaps him back to reality. He looks at Xiaopang, crying by the rock, staring at him like his last hope. Xiaopang sniffles. Boss, you froze for 5 seconds. Memories from his past life hit him like yesterday. Back then, what he wanted most wasn't becoming a snake. He just hoped that someone would turn around and pull him back once. Before he can finish, the insect god cuts in and starts counting down. 5, 3, 2. A thought flashes through his head. I still want to be saved. Suddenly he launches forward, grabs Xiao Pang and drags him from the mutant frogs, screaming for help while roasting him for being too fat. Xiao Pang cries like a fountain, yelling, "Boss, I love you!" And Zhou Yi immediately tells him to shut up because the breath is killing him. He pulls with everything he's got. Below them, mutant frogs open their spiked jaws, ready to swallow them whole. His grip starts slipping. And just like that, Xiao Pang falls, screaming, "Boss!" Zhou Yi can only watch, helpless, facing those razor teeth. Then the system's voice rings out, cold and absolute. He has passed the insect god's trial. The frog doesn't know Zhou Yi is now protected as the system activates Devour all things. No way the system lets him die that easily. He gains the mutant frog's elastic tongue and corrosive slime ability. A blast of green fluid shoots straight into the frog's face. The system announces a special reward. Out of nowhere, a human foot covered in green slime appears. The system fulfills his wish and restores Yi's human body. The mutant frog just sits there, weirdly calm even with danger in front of it. The slime hits and it freezes. Zhou Yi smiles like he just won the championship. "I'm back!" The insect god sounds pleased. "Even in despair, you kept your kindness. You are worthy to be my successor." Zhou Yi points at himself nervous. "Successor. Snake god successor. Wait, do I have to turn back into a snake?" The insect god laughs. "Snake or cockroach, immortality is what matters. Form is irrelevant." Zhou Yi blinks. "Boss, I sucked at literature class. Can you just say it straight?" The insect god explodes. "Even in human form you can wield immortal power, you idiot!" Zhou Yi drifts into thought, feeling light as autumn wind. So no more worrying about turning into a snake. He's just standing there naked while the insect god praises his loyalty. Then he steps on something squishy. The insect god looks down. Zhou Yi feels the slime and panics. Did I just step on poop? He finally realizes the horror and screams. Xiao Pang trembles in despair. "You just crushed the teammate you saved." Zhou Yi's heart stops. He saved him just to step on him. He quickly mutters to himself, "Stay calm. Life is all about acting." The insect god sighs. "Why did I choose an idiot like you?" Chuni wasted no time and instantly went full top-tier actor mode, eyes sparkling like he could convince the whole world. He rolled on the ground like a man losing it, crying and self-roasting, screaming to the sky about his little chubby guy and how unfair life was. Still crying, he begged to be taken away, acting like he couldn't survive without his brother anymore. The insect god paused, realizing it misunderstood the situation, and softly said their bond must be deep. It admitted the kid wasn't dead and would never die as a guardian. The system backed it up with proof, confirming the revival-like nature of the ability. The insect god explained further, kill mutated monsters, charge energy, and you can bring him back again. Chuna's fighting spirit reignited instantly, eyes burning with rage, swearing this was a narrow grudge he wouldn't drop. He decided he'd make these frogs remember what fear of humans feels like. The mutated frog froze for a second, clearly sensing something off. But its speed was insane. Chuni couldn't keep up, and one frog jumped straight onto his hand. Chuni snapped and roared at it, furious like you think you're the boss here. The system urgently warned him, don't touch it, this frog's acid ability is dangerous. Chuni looked down, his hand was already being burned by acid, flesh melting in pain. He started wildly shaking his arm just to get it off. Another frog locked onto him like prey and shot its tongue out. The tongue extended in a blur, impossible to track. It slammed right into Chuna's most vulnerable spot. He screamed in shock and started flailing around like a panicked dancer. He couldn't believe a mutated frog actually hit him there. Chuni complained to the insect god like I can't even beat a frog, and got told he was fighting blind without using his own traits. He asked what his trait even was. The insect god explained Devaral phenomena. Eat monsters to steal their traits and resistance. The more you eat, the stronger you get, basically become a god. Chunai instantly lit up and even asked if roasting and eating would work. Without answering, the insect god shoved a frog straight into his mouth. He swallowed it helplessly as pain and disgust exploded in his brain. He immediately vomited green liquid everywhere, screaming that he couldn't do it. The insect god got strict, it can't keep helping forever, do it or die. Chuni was already surrounded, frogs stacking up like a full invasion army. One frog climbed onto his body, pushing him into panic again. Then he suddenly froze. Why was he even scared? He had survived worse before. He clenched his teeth and decided to go all in. Food was literally at his mouth already. He bit down hard on the mutated frog. The system activated Devaral phenomena, extracting traits, acid secretion, frog jump, enhanced muscles, everything got absorbed. Chuna's confidence skyrocketed. He roared that their abilities were useless against him now. Even with his clothes torn apart, he kept dominating the battlefield. He unleashed non-stop techniques to wipe out the frog swarm. He even started bragging, claiming absolute invincibility is just lonely at the top. Suddenly, a blinding light appeared in front of him, breaking his momentum. He shielded his eyes and noticed the sound of a car approaching. The team leader saw him from the vehicle, and Frozy, a naked man doing something unexplainable with mutated frogs. Do we neutralize him? Chuni didn't hear them and happily waved, thinking they came to rescue him. The leader coldly ordered fire tranquilizer darts eliminate the target. Multiple cars suddenly stopped in front of Zhou Yi. Zhou Yi checked the markings on the vehicle's roofs. He instantly recognized them as the extermination squad, admiration kicking in. He had heard rumors they're humanity's strongest awakened force in the apocalypse. They hunt monsters across the surface and deep abyss rifts. They also handle new outbreaks and keep city order intact. Zhou Yi fully trusted them and felt relief seeing them here. so he instinctively called out like they were his saviors. You guys came to rescue me. Next second, poison darts shot in like lightning. Joey froze as the darts hit him and he collapsed instantly. The squad moved in with weapons ready, preparing to capture him. But they all paused. He looked totally unaffected. Suddenly, his body started trembling hard. The darts began dropping out one by one. System alert: his muscle control lets him manipulate fibers and evade attacks. The darts were literally being forced out of his body. The brown-haired guy panicked. Target is dangerous. The blue-haired deputy immediately ordered combat stance. Joey yelled in panic, "Wait, I'm not the enemy!" The brown-haired guy ignored him and opened fire. The shouting from the convoy suddenly stopped. The deputy turned toward Ai-Lin on top of the vehicle. She coldly ordered, "Capture him alive."
Yes.
Joey felt things spiral out of control fast. He muttered angrily, "Do you people even understand words?" Motorcycles roared in, kicking up thick dust. In seconds, Joey was completely surrounded. Steel cables shot out toward him. They instantly wrapped him up tight. He got dragged helplessly across the ground. His body scraped behind the motorcycle at high speed. Pain exploded through his arms as he was pulled apart. System triggered mutant frog ability acidic secretion. Green acid started oozing from his skin. The cables snapped instantly on contact. The squad was shocked and staggered back. Ai-Lin watched the scene in disbelief. The blue-haired deputy shouted, "Has an awakened one? Don't let him escape!" A soldier rushed in and grabbed Joey's waist. But his gloves immediately started melting. Strangely, he looked excited instead of scared. Another soldier leapt in like a frog, landing right in front of Joey. Joey flinched. It appeared behind him instantly too. The deputy slammed down but still couldn't keep up. The brown-haired guy aimed straight at Joey's face. Joey dodged awkwardly but managed to slip away. He activated system skill frog jump. He shot forward like a bullet. "I can actually escape now," he thought. Suddenly, a purple cloth wrapped around his leg. Ai-Lin yanked him back coldly with a long energy rope. Joey was dragged back down again, helpless at her feet. Contenta referencio Isa index. Ai-Lin coldly stepped on the man's head, eyes like ice. The blue-haired vice captain checked in. Report to captain, target number 13 confirmed. Ai-Lin instantly leaped onto the motorcycle. Joey was wrapped up like a cocoon, face bleeding as he was dragged across the ground, scraping through dirt and dust. His screams mixed with the blaring sirens, chaos all around. In an instant, the extermination squad vanished from ordinary sight, speeding off like a shadow. A blue portal appeared elsewhere near the city checkpoint return point to the Vermilion Bird Gate. Someone in the car shouted, "Deputy Captain Ai-Lin is back! Open the Vermilion Bird Gate!" Joey was still injured while Ai-Lin calmly scanned the surroundings. Orders came through not to open the gate too wide, to prevent monsters from slipping in. Ai-Lin's motorcycle drift was so smooth it looked unreal. Joey got dizzy just watching. He looked up at the massive steel walls, silently shocked by how fortified this place was. The squad threw him a prisoner outfit. Joey sighed, "Ladies, I'm really harmless. Even in the apocalypse I can't be naked." The short-haired girl eyed him suspiciously like, "He talks. That's new." Ai-Lin cut in sharply, warning everyone not to be careless. She recalled the Anomaly 12 incidents in 1 week. Naked, laughing civilians, unable to speak, all human on paper but deeply wrong in feeling. The brown-haired girl suggested wiping them out. The short-haired ones snapped back. Then were no different from monsters. They decided to wait for genetic test results tomorrow. Joey quickly connected the dots and froze. He was captured for being like those freak cases. And that scared him more than imprisonment itself. "Genetic test, what is that?" he whispered in panic. "Bug god, are we exposed?" But the insect entity stayed silent like it was gone. Joey didn't even dare breathe normally anymore. Something was seriously wrong. The iron gate slowly creaked open. The short-haired girl scanned the area, then frowned. "Even if you're a pervert or linked to those two you're talking today." Then she paused. "Why are the lights out? Something's off." Ai-Lin snapped her head back. "Did you already transfer the other prisoners?" "There's only one left," the brown-haired girl stammered in panic. "No, wait, where did the other prisoners go?" Ai-Lin immediately sensed that something was horribly wrong. One prisoner's head suddenly ballooned, twisting into a grotesque shape. Everyone froze, eyes wide in horror. The brown-haired girl looked up and saw figures floating on the ceiling. Joey gasped, "What the hell is that?" Mutated bodies drifted above, heads swollen like balloons, eyes hollow, completely inhuman. Only the bald old man hadn't changed, but now his entire body was soaked in blooded aura like a demon. His scalp began to swell unnaturally. The outer layer tore open, revealing a massive fungus covered in countless eerie eyes. Joey and the girls all froze in shock. The fungus monster lunged forward. Tentacles exploded outward, grabbing everything in seconds. No one had time to react. Only Ai-Lin moved, leaping high with sharp instinct. She dodged as a tentacle smashed into the ground, shaking the entire room. She smirked slightly. "So this is the real body." The gray-haired girl got caught, trembling violently. Red infection spread across her skin like a web, screams tearing out as she collapsed. Joey was hit too, panicking hard. "What is happening?" The insect entity suddenly spoke urgently. "You've been parasitized? Eat its spores now, or you'll turn into a corpse puppet." The fungus monster roared in rage. "I want your body!" Ai-Lin raised an eyebrow. "It talks interesting. Never seen a species like this." The two controlled girls and the bald man charged at her like puppets. Ai-Lin swung her hand, releasing purple spider silk that snapped onto the wall like glue. Grabbing onto the spider silk, she vaulted upward, dodging attacks with insane agility. In her mind, she quickly calculated this parasite monster was annoying as hell. Direct hits wouldn't work. Worst part, she didn't have any mana crystal, so her abilities were nearly nerfed. Suddenly, her eyes locked onto a nearby medical cart. Surgical knives glinted under the light, and an idea sparked instantly. She shot her spider silk out and snatched a surgical knife midair. Without hesitation, she aimed it straight at the fungus monster. It seemed to anticipate it and swung out long tentacles. It grabbed the brown-haired and gray-haired girls as living shields. Aylin hesitated for a split second, then yanked her silk to change trajectory. The surgical knife flew forward, stopping just centimeters from the gray-haired girl's face. Zhou panicked and desperately started swallowing the spores clinging to his body. The fungus monster roared in rage, calling him a weak human. Zhou freaked out as the spores spread insanely fast. "I can't outeat it," he thought in panic. The insect god yelled at him to shut up and swallow faster. No matter how disgusting it was, Zhou gritted his teeth and swallowed everything. System notification: parasite spores absorbed. Gained parasite resistance. Resistance upgraded, jumping from 35 force. Aylin held the surgical knives, hearing the monster scream, and scoffed. "You're basically insulting yourself, idiot." She angrily threw the knife straight at it, while mocking its cowardice hiding behind hostages. The monster laughed, confident as it kept the girls as shields. "Useless." Aylin just smirked. "Is that so?" Her purple spider silk twisted and slipped through impossible angles, weaving past the brown-haired girl. It dodged every obstacle cleanly. The surgical knife followed the silk's path like a guided missile. Multiple blades stabbed deep into the fungus monster, making it howl in pain. Aylin analyzed it calmly. Its true body wasn't strong. It relied on hosts for protection. Suddenly, the brown-haired and gray-haired girls started bleeding from the same injury points on the monster. Aylin frowned, surprised. "What?" The monster regenerated instantly, shaking off the knives and laughing. "Hurt me, hurt them." Aylin realized the damage transferability. The monster pointed at her, sneering, "You're already infected too." Aylin looked down. Spores had already covered her hand. Her arm slowly raised toward her own neck against her will. She struggled, but her body stopped listening, the parasite forcing her to choke herself. The monster roared, enjoying the control, ready to finish her off. Then it suddenly froze, confused. Aylin suddenly smiled. Her arms were connected by purple spider silk, giving her partial control back. "Too bad you fell into my trap," she said calmly. She used her right hand to forcibly control her infected left arm. She realized her silk could also restrain her own body, neutralizing parasite control. Without hesitation, she redirected the silk and pulled the surgical knife again toward the monster. The blade shot forward like lightning, slicing off spores clinging to her hand. Blood dripped from her left hand, but she handled it cleanly. "Enough," she said coldly. The monster laughed. "You'll bleed out if you keep this up." It grabbed the two girls again as hostages, threatening her to back off. Aylin didn't flinch. "Before I kill you, I won't leave even if I'm dying." The monster suddenly noticed Zhou still in the corner, quietly swallowing spores nonstop. It screamed in shock, unable to fully control him. In rage, it attacked him and broke his restraints. "Then die first." The attack came too fast. Zhou panicked, realizing he couldn't dodge. But in that instant, Aylin's purple spider silk shot out and wrapped around his body. In a split second, she yanked hard, dragging him out of the tentacle's reach. The fungus monster froze, unable to react in time. Zhou slammed onto the ground, groaning in pain. But he quickly looked up, eyes full of gratitude. "Thank you for saving me." He opened his eyes, caught a very specific angle of Aylin, and instantly nosebleed blushed like crazy. "Nen goddess." Aylin's face darkened instantly. She grabbed his collar and snarled, "So you're not one of them, just a pervert." Zhou protested desperately, "I'm innocent! You just don't believe me!" Aylin didn't bother arguing and turned back to the fight. Calmly, she said, "If it can't parasitize you, we have two options. We either die here together, or I hold it off and you escape to report." Zhou's eyes sharpened. He thought for a second, then stepped forward. "I choose C." "What?" Zhou said confidently. "We team up and kill that ugly mushroom thing." Aylin was genuinely surprised. "Why would you choose a death mission?" Zhou's mind flashed back to old memories. The moment he was betrayed and abandoned, that helpless feeling carved deep into him. He once reached out for help only to be left alone. His voice lowered, heavy with emotion. "I hate people who abandon allies and run more than monsters themselves." Aylin sighed internally, brave kid or just an idiot. Zhou, unaware, was still confident. System said it's weak. As long as I resist parasites, it's basically free win. The fungus monster roared in rage. "You humans still flirting during battle. Low-level creatures." Countless tentacles shot out like lightning. Zhou shouted at Aylin, "You can control bodies too, right? Let me fight! I'm immune, but I can't fight!" Aylin replied flatly, "Fine, but I won't guarantee your survival." Purple spider silk instantly wrapped around Zhou's body. Aylin controlled him like a puppet. "Move." Zhou's body shot forward, dodging attacks with strange precision. The monster roared, tightening its grip on the two girls. "Even my tentacles can't be dodged. How are you breaking my control?" It hurled the gray-haired girl straight toward Zhou. Aylin's fingers danced midair, controlling the silk with surgical precision. Zhou used the girl's shoulder as a stepping point and vaulted over her. He landed, but the brown-haired girl was already charging at him. Aylin did hesitate and adjusted the silk instantly. Zhou slid between her legs and slipped through cleanly. His hand hit the ground, propelling him upward. He launched straight at the fungus monster. "It's now or never!" The monster realized what was happening and roared in frustration. Aylin smirked slight, "Not bad, you're adapting." She drove Zhou forward, his fist smashed toward the monster. He shouted. The monster raised its guard instantly. "Too weak, you can't break through." Zhou didn't stop, continuing his barrage. System alert: muscle expansion activated. Acid secretion activated. His body swelled and hardened, coated in corrosive fluid. Each punch turned into a devastating strike, like thunder crashing down. The monster screamed in agony, high-pitched and distorted. Aylin's eyes widened slightly, his hiding another power. The monster's wounds began melting under the acid. It roared in disbelief. Impossible, how is this so strong? Joey only smiled faintly and replied. The mushroom monster roars in rage, claiming no one can kill it and it can still redirect damage. Suddenly, it widens its eyes in shock. It stares as its wounds keep melting away. Turning around in panic, it sees Aylin rescuing the two girls. Aylin holds glowing parasitic spores in her hand, smirking coldly as she reveals she extracted them. She crushes them tightly in her palm. Now I really want to see you fall apart. The mushroom monster glares in pure fury but stays silent. Strange green fluid keeps leaking from its body. The balloon-headed victims start trembling violently. In the next second, they all explode. Aylin and Chuni are stunned as blood from the victims flows back into the monster. Chuni mutters in shock, realizing the blood is converging into it. A red-black liquid aura forms around the mushroom monster. Both of them frown, clearly disgusted by the scene. The black-red sludge keeps thickening, surging like violent waves. The monster's body begins growing bigger and more terrifying. Tentacles wriggle across its massive form. They lash around with pure menace. With a deafening roar, it charges forward. Aylin and Chuni brace for impact, both determined despite Chuna's heavily injured body. The monster bares its sharp teeth, four glowing eyes locking in. Don't disappoint me, it taunts. A massive fist suddenly rockets toward Aylin. It's too fast to react, debris blasting through the air. Aylin's slender body is smashed hard into a nearby wall. She groans. Too strong, it's on a completely different level now. Before she can recover, sharp claws swing in again. They drag her down onto the hard ground. No mercy. She is flung away like a ragdoll. Blood spills from Aylin's mouth. Her body is covered in injuries, trembling in pain. The monster turns to Chuni, locking onto him. You are the one who hit me. Chuni instantly senses danger. Before he can react, it blitzes toward him at supersonic speed. A single punch sends him flying, blood bursting from his mouth. Chuni crashes down hard. His body slams into the ground. A blue system screen flashes, severe full-body fractures, critical internal damage, organs failing. The system detects lethal damage and activates a death-defying regeneration trait. His body begins to heal as faint energy wraps around his limbs, pulling him out of agony. Chuni wakes up in panic. I'm going to die. A cold system voice orders him not to move, warning another hit could be fatal. Chuni freezes, pretending to be dead on the broken ground, heart racing. He looks toward Aylin, hoping she can still turn the fight around. The monster, drenched in red, mocks Chuni for being weak. While it laughs in victory, Aylin suddenly strikes from the side. Her fist crashes in with full force, but the monster instantly grabs her leg midair. Aylin is stunned, realizing something is wrong. She is violently slammed into the ground again and again. The monster shows no intention of stopping its brutal assault. Finally, it throws her straight up into the ceiling. Aylin coughs blood, suffering severe internal injuries, her consciousness fading. The monster slams its fist down, roaring about the chair that once restrained it and how much hatred it holds. Every word is filled with pure resentment. As Aylin falls, it hits her with another devastating punch. Blood pours out from her entire body, staining her red as she convulses in pain. Her legs are completely broken. Even then, she forces a weak smile, whispering that at least her arms can still move. The monster stomps forward, each step heavy and crushing, locking onto her. Chunuki watches from afar, panic rising. If even Vice Captain Aylin can't stop it, who can? Lost in thought, he suddenly hears a faint voice nearby. A wounded girl weakly reaches out, revealing a glowing mana gem and begging Chunugi to hand it to Aylin so she can unlock her power. Chunugi freezes, staring at the gem in her hand. He hesitates, gripping it tightly in confusion. How is he supposed to get this to her in time? The massive monster keeps closing in on Aylin, each step like a death sentence. Insect God suddenly appears, coldly calculating 10 success if he triggers full muscle trait burst and finds an opening. Chunugi almost loses at 10, that's basically suicide. The system coldly replies 10 survival or 100 death. Chunugi grits his teeth and makes the reckless call. The system immediately activates the muscle amplification trait. He roars and forces every bit of strength out, launching himself toward Aylin. The monster notices instantly and locks eyes with him. Insect God recalculates, now only 5 chance. Chunugi ignores it completely. No choice but to gamble it all. He leaps, clearing the monster's massive body. Insect God screams 1 now. Chunugi thinks he's almost there. Aylin is right ahead. Then his body locks up, his leg gets grabbed midair. The monster snarls, what are you doing? Before he can react, Chunugi is slammed into the ground. Insect God whispers in despair, 0. The monster steps forward, its shadow swallowing everything. Its foot rises, ready to crush the motionless Chun. Blood covers his face, but his eyes stay locked on Aylin, still burning with hope. This is the last chance. This exact position is the final opening. In a split-second gamble, Chunugi throws the gem toward Aylin. Take it. The monster's foot comes down, crushing him into the earth. It laughs in mockery, calling him weak as it prepares the finishing blow. But then it suddenly freezes. Something feels wrong. Silk threads erupt, wrapping around Chunugi's broken body like a protective shield. The monster narrows its eyes. That woman, there's a problem. Web silk coils around Aylin like glowing armor as she trembles, moved by Chunugi's sacrifice for the mana gem. The silk shines like a ribbon of light in the dark battlefield, spreading everywhere. Aylin takes control of the threads, binding the monster in an instant. The monster thrashes in rage and shock but can't break free. Aylin yanks the web hard, dragging the giant beast toward her. Her other hand forms a sharp blade shaped by the silk. Aylin's eyes burn with rage. Juju, draw the sword. She swings down hard. Die, monster! But it's not over yet. She suddenly freezes. What is this? The monster stands completely unharmed, staring down at her in mockery. Humans are still too weak using its power. Its claw snaps out, catching her blade midair. It breaks the sword effortlessly like a twig. Then it grabs her neck and lifts her up. In a brutal instant, it drives a blade straight through Lin's abdomen. Junhee barely sits up, only to witness a nightmare scene with Lin in front of him. A blade from his own sword is lodged straight through his stomach, blood everywhere. His mind goes cold. This time it's really over. The monster roars, raising its other arm into a lethal spike to finish him. Death is literally 1 second away. Suddenly, both of the monster's arms get cleanly sliced off. Everyone freezes in shock at the impossible turn. Lin is safely caught by a massive man and gently placed on the ground. 2 more uniformed figures appear, clearly from the same organization, and the monster snaps, asking who they are. A bespectacled woman steps forward. Her eyes scan the battlefield full of injured bodies. She diagnoses them coldly: organs, bones, everything is shattered. Hallie, leader of Squad 10, pulls out a green artifact and starts emergency healing. Firo, the bear-like Squad 2 captain, shields Lin and speaks with Hallie confidently. Supreme Commander Coryvarian arrives, sword on his back, ready to take the monster on. Lin warns from Firo's arms that this enemy is not normal. Coryvarian just smirks, saying he's not normal either. Hallie yells for silence, focusing all energy on healing the wounded. A glowing green light erupts from the artifact. Plants start sprouting wildly, fueled by her power. The vegetation gently cradles the injured like a healing cradle. Firo carefully places Lin into one of the blooming flowers. Junhee gets wrapped up next by another giant flower. Has completely enclosed inside it. Warm energy flows through his body like a hot spring. Sleepiness quickly drags him under. The system suddenly warns him not to pass out and injects adrenaline. Pain shocks him awake. Hallie glances over, saying he should be fine. The insect god smirks, telling him he's lucky to witness top-tier combat. Coryvarian walks forward toward the monster like it's a casual stroll. He introduces himself as the Supreme Commander and tries to talk. The monster snarls back, humans are just food, no negotiations. The air instantly turns heavy and suffocating. Coryvarian narrows his eyes, analyzing the situation. Suddenly, something strange drips from the cracked walls. A thick red liquid like blood starts oozing out everywhere. It forms into new monsters, layer after layer, as the leader claims they devoured all prisoners here. More creatures rise from the blood mass, screaming that everyone will die. Junhee panics inside the flower as monsters surround everything. Pharaoh powers up, releasing a brutal aura. He blitzes forward, slicing a monster apart instantly. The creature screams as it's torn down. A violent wind barrier forms around Hallie to protect her while she heals. The wind condenses into a spinning defensive shield. Solid as a fortress, Pharaoh tells Hallie he'll handle the monsters, but she must endure the stench of blood. Hallie puffs her cheeks angrily, snapping back at him. Junhee is stunned by the overwhelming power of these commanders. The monster grins viciously. Good, the commanders are here, kill them first. With one sentence, both of its arms are ripped off again, blood spraying everywhere. The monster howls in pure agony, completely losing control. But in the next instant, its arms regenerate again and its body mutates, growing even larger and more terrifying. Junhee's eyes widen in disbelief. Third transformation already. This thing is insane. Coryvarian looks up, still smiling, casually saying he's kind of jealous of that kind of easy power-up. The monster ignores him and slams forward with a giant punch. Coryvarian calmly dodges. His movement is smooth like flowing water. They briefly exchange blows at extreme speed. Attack forward, retreat instantly, perfect rhythm battle. The monster starts getting frustrated. It screams like an enraged beast being provoked. Suddenly, long tentacles shoot out and wrap around Coryvarian's body. He lets out a low laugh, slightly surprised but amused. The monster roars in victory, you're finished. But in a flash, Coryvarian draws his sword from his back. One clean slash cuts through the massive monster mid-rampage. The moment his feet land, the monster's body collapses into pieces. It stares in shock. What just happened? Coryvarian points. His gaze turns. The monster starts trembling in fear. Its body dissolves, leaving only an octopus-like head with writhing tentacles. Coryvarian moves instant. He seals it inside a small tube and laughs triumphantly. Got it. I actually caught it. He proudly brags like a kid, claiming he just captured the first talking monster in history and should name it. Hallie and Pharaoh stand there exhausted, already regretting everything, while Hallie sighs about explaining the destroyed lab to the council. Both of them call him an idiot leader in sync. Junhee watches everything in shock. The gap in power is unreal. The insect god also comments coldly from within. Alright, you can faint now. The world suddenly fades to black, shifting into a silent, cold corridor. Junhee slowly wakes up again, still dazed. His senses return bit by bit. He suddenly realizes he's lying in a bathtub completely naked. He freezes. What is going on here? A faint sound comes from nearby. Behind a curtain, a girl's silhouette appears. Junhee instantly panics, face turning bright red. What the hell is this situation? Lam peeks out and casually says he's finally awake. She walks out naked, explaining his body was damaged and they had to clean and monitor him here since the prison is destroyed. Junhee stammers, asking if naked soaking is really necessary. Lam teases him, saying hot water is the only option right now. She introduces herself as Lam, deputy leader of Squad 1, and asks his name. Junhee, still flustered, finally mutters his name. Lam steps straight into the bathtub like it's nothing. She tells him to move over so she can check his body. She orders him to turn around for treatment. Junhee turns away completely red, letting her examine the wound. Has mentally screaming about how she has zero sense of boundaries. A moment later, Lam cheers his wound is completely healed without even a scar. She slaps his back and laughs proudly, saying he's not bad at all. The system suddenly pops up, reporting his heart rate is 120, hormones spiking, blood flow shifting downward, then jokingly asks if it should prepare reproduction mode. Junie instantly rejects it in panic. Lam sighs softly, then casually mentions the monster attack was brutal on her back wounds. I can 10 reference UICD index so. Joey turns around in panic, pointing at his healed scars still clearly visible. The system suddenly reacts, triggering an emergency reproduction sequence. Countdown 543. At 2 seconds left, Joey bolts out of the bath like a fired arrow. I've got something urgent, you bathe alone. He dashes outside immediately. He stands at the door, gasping like he just ran a marathon. Embarrassed and furious, he yells at the system, "What the hell are you doing?" The TV suddenly breaks into emergency news. Violent energy surges near Manhwa City. A nearby 50k MIB safe zone has been attacked. Joey freezes, realizing that place was where he used to live. Don't tell me everyone's dead. The reporter continues. Rescue team arrived, but the entire safe zone had no survivors. Joey sighs in relief, thinking if he stayed there, he'd be dead too. The broadcast warns again, rift zones connect to another world. Report any anomalies immediately. The insect system appears, coldly saying stop thinking what if nonsense, then suddenly switches tone. Good news. Joey looks up, completely stunned. It announces his fatty friend has been revived. Imperial Guard restoration 100 success. The system confirms Xiaopeng is now immortal. As long as the host lives, it keeps reviving. Joey frowns, skeptical. An immortal snake, how is that even useful as a guard? The system explains it can evolve endlessly and share vision with him. Joey agrees to full revival mode. The system activates. Xiaopeng's body starts regenerating on screen. Xiaopeng fully restores, flying out happily. Big bro, I missed you. It circles Joey, scanning his face closely. Then bluntly says, big bro, you got uglier now. The system orders it to try flying, telling Joey to close his eyes for vision sync. Joey syncs instantly, experiencing flight through Xiaopeng, heading straight to the bathroom. Xiaopeng slips inside through the door gap. It floats in and stares at Lin taking a bath. Joey panics, yelling, "Hey, get out of there!" Xiaopeng honestly replies it senses curiosity. Lin immediately detects an intruder. She fires a purple thread attack. It wraps the snake instantly like a trap. Xiaopeng melts down into liquid and collapses. At the same time, Joey feels a sharp pain and coughs blood. He staggers and collapses backward. The system casually adds, forgot to mention, shared vision means backlash if it dies. Night falls, a dim crescent moon hanging in the sky. Next morning, Joey sits eating breakfast at a street stall. Suddenly, a stack of documents is slammed onto his table. Lin stands there coldly. Your test results. Everything is normal. Joey flips through the files silently. She continues firmly, you're cleared, you're free now. He pushes the documents back, getting straight to the point. I want to join the slaughter squad. Lin raises an eyebrow, warning him their death rate is extremely high. Joey replies without hesitation, isn't the survival rate of normal people also low? He declares confidently, I'm an awakened one. I fought alongside you. My identity is clean. Can I join? Lin studies him carefully, trying to judge if he's serious. The 4-year killing squad selection competition is coming in 7 days, and Lin warns this year is the hardest ever. She casually drops a hint this season is basically hell mode. Joey frowns, carefully listening to every word Lin says. Half joking, Joey asks Lin to figure something out, hinting she owes him a life debt and should repay it. Lin straightens up and gives a firm command. She smiles with approval, actually liking his shameless survival mindset, and offers him special training. Behind a nearby wall, Reverian silently watches everything unfold. Zhongja questions why he was told to fake Juyi's genetic test report, while Koravarian frowns slightly. The gene test shows something not fully human about Juyi, but he doesn't explain further, only leaves a cryptic line hanging. Let the bullet fly a little longer. Scene shifts to the Abyss training base at the entrance of a deep chasm. On the way, Juyi suddenly stops on the steps and shouts, "What?" His eyes widen in disbelief. This special training is literally being thrown into the Abyss. He panics internally, realizing the Abyss is full of monsters way beyond surface level, basically a death zone even for armies. Juyi turns around and realizes his team is only 4 other youths. Luyao, the only girl, looks agile and sharp. Jia Ting stands strong, carrying gear like a veteran. Sukai wears glasses with a sharp gaze, and Songdao has spiky, rebellious hair. Lin steps forward and explains calmly the Abyss is formed by massive wormholes from the Great Cataclysm. Each Abyss connects to another world and is ranked from E to S in danger level, with higher ranks meaning stronger monsters and larger space. She points behind them and says the portal leads into a fully surveyed Abyss zone by the killing squad. After the briefing, Lin activates the control panel and continues explaining the mission. The killing squad's job is to enter the Abyss and eliminate monsters to slow down the invasion from another world. She holds up a glowing red stone, explaining that killing monsters yields mana crystals used to upgrade weapons and gear. Her fingers swipe across the interface as the gate system boots up and blinding light spills out. Lin gives a sharp order, the teleport gate is now open. She assigns roles, telling Jia Ting to lead the team due to his Abyss experience. Jia Ting steps forward confidently and calls out the formation order. The group steps through the gate into the killing squad's training Abyss Dark Forest, A-rank danger zone. Massive trees tower on both sides, crowding the narrow path like a living maze. Juyi stares in shock, eyes wide. This is really the Abyss. Suddenly, a monkey-like creature with a snake tail swings across the branches, making him yell in panic. A monkey with a snake tail? He turns and sees a giant spider covered in thick hair. That thing... He looks at the trees and thinks they're way too tall, way too wild to be normal. Juyi's eyes dart around in panic. This doesn't feel like Earth anymore. One gate and has in another world. The rustling leaves sound like a calm but eerie background soundtrack. Suddenly, Jia Ting in front stops and turns back with a cold stare. He throws a bag toward Juyi and orders coldly, "Take it." Jia Ting mocks him, saying he must not touch any monsters and should just follow and carry supplies like baggage duty. Juyi frowns, confused, but still takes the bag. Inside, jealousy and frustration boil up as he thinks about Jia Ting staying close to instructor A Lin last night. His expression darkens as he stays silent for a moment. Jia Ting notices and provokes him. "What, don't want it?" Suddenly, Juyi smiles brightly and agrees. "Perfect. I won't touch a single monster. I'll just do logistics." Jia Ting freezes, clearly surprised he agreed so easily. Juyi quickly runs off carrying the bag, secretly relieved. "Safe. I'm definitely playing it safe now." Jia gritted his teeth, annoyed, thinking this guy's brain must be broken or what. Joey stood in the middle of the path and shouted for everyone to hand over their backpacks. He walked up to Lu Yao politely and held out his hand, asking for her bag. But Lu Yao coldly refused, saying she could handle it herself. The group moved ahead, leaving Joey dragging all the luggage behind like some random porter. He felt oddly proud, thinking they wouldn't let him fight anyway, so what's the loss? But that confidence shattered once he saw the awakened fighters in the abyss in action. So Kai took the lead, unleashing a lightning sword technique that tore through space itself. In seconds, he wiped out a swarm of snake-tailed monkeys. In another direction, Jia swung his blade with full force, screaming as he went all out. A brutal slash swept across and erased everything in its path. Joey hid in the bushes, eyes wide, realizing how these awakened fighters truly operate. Lu Yao collected loot while the crystal cores absorbed energy from the monster corpses. Jia kept farming kills like it was an XP grinding game, leveling up non-stop. After an hour, even he was completely drained from non-stop fighting. Still, he finished strong with 10 kills and the whole team leveled up. Joey watched from afar, quietly comparing himself to them. Meanwhile, he casually sat down and tied a napkin around his neck. Then he neatly split the monster meat into portions and just started eating like nothing was happening on the battlefield. Suddenly, the system announced a new trait, long-armed ape. Joey realized one bite of monster meat lets him absorb traits directly. He kept eating, gaining poison resistance and extreme toxin resistance. More bites gave him forest adaptation, his body slowly adjusting. Then he unlocked a Sunfire Divine Flame trait, his stats stacking up fast. After finishing the whole pile, Joey just collapsed on the ground and fell asleep. He decided it right there, his going support role all the way. Just eat and level up while others suffer. A insect god suddenly appeared, praising the mighty Cockroach King, and Joey cheered, "Long live Little Strong!" The other three fighters froze, completely confused hearing him yell that. Song Dao and Lu Yao frowned, annoyed, wondering what the hell he was doing just eating barbecue in the back. Suddenly, a purple gold beam ripped open the dark forest sky like a blade, terrifying birds scattering everywhere. A massive figure dropped from the sky at insane speed. Its name, the forest horned insect beast. Its opponent, the tail slasher monkey king. With a deafening roar, the horned beast showed overwhelming power. In an instant, it launched the Monkey King straight into the air. Joey watched this scene, his heart pounding in shock. So this is the Abyss final boss, and it can easily crush a peak monster like that. The power gap is insane. Jia stood calmly and said they would win as long as everyone followed his plan. And Lang wiped his sweat, remembering the warning about getting injured or dying and insurance not covering it. If you break rules and die fighting the boss, don't expect health insurance to pay. Lugio stood behind him, nervously watching Jia. He pointed at the marked spot on the map and ordered everyone to stay there. Jia stayed silent for a moment, then coldly walked off, saying good luck to them. Sokai and Songdao smirked, eyes flashing with hidden schemes. Lu Jiao suddenly realized that the spot Jia chose was actually the boss ambush point. Jia smiled coldly, confirming it was exactly as planned. He had planted explosives in all 4 of Joey's bags, and once the boss was lured in, he would detonate everything. Boom, the plan is simple: finish off the injured boss, just sacrifice one useless teammate as bait. Lu Yao instantly snaps, calling it too cruel and dirty. But in the next second, she freezes as Saiding's sword is already at her neck. Sukai and Songtao rush in to stop him. Saiding glares coldly and warns her to shut up, his patience is running out. In the safe zone, Joey is completely unaware of everything happening. He's busy collecting monster fragments, totally clueless. Then a massive explosion shakes the entire ground. Joey looks up in shock. What the hell is going on over there? He squints into the forest, sensing something wrong. His face darkens in panic, something's coming. Suddenly, a wave of beasts storms past him at insane speed. He's confused, watching them flee. But then something massive crashes through the trees. Joey turns back immediately. A horned forest beast charges in like a storm. It pierces straight through his body, blood exploding out. His face goes pale in pure shock. The beast drags him through the forest non-stop, then slams him into a giant rock, shaking the whole area. Joey whispers, "Boss, Wizen." Xiao Qiang appears and immediately scolds him. While trying emergency healing, Joey weakly asks where his teammates are. A flaming arrow suddenly flies in. It lands right next to explosives falling from his bag. Joey's eyes widen, fire missile! He finally realizes those are explosives. The explosives trigger instantly and detonate. In fading consciousness, he realizes has been used as bait and abandoned. The explosion rips through the battlefield. Saiding and his group laugh while watching from afar. He mocks Joey's final expression like it's a joke. Lu Yao suddenly points downward in panic. Look! Saiding turns as the smoke clears. A figure slowly. Joey is still alive. and now he looks even more terrifying than before. Siding's expression stiffens. He's still alive. Joey forces the horn out of his body. He roars and rips it free. His wounds start regenerating at insane speed. He screams in rage. You really think him easy to kill? He grabs the beast and lifts it effortlessly. Siding freezes, completely shocked. Joey hurls the monster into the air. Now let's see what you can still do. You tried to use me as bait from the start. System alert. Titan arm activated. Strength boosted 10x body weight limit. System alert. Forest adaptation activated. Power boosted in this environment. System alert. Sunlight buff activated. Duration 3 days. Effects enhanced. Siding's face darkens as he watches. Joey smashes the beast like a weapon. It crashes straight towards Siding's group, tearing up the ground. Siding barely blocks it in time. Song Tao is pinned under the impact, screaming for help. Everyone calls out for Song Tao, but Siding coldly raises his sword. He's already dead. Focus on the boss. Song Tao begs, desperately terrified. Siding doesn't hesitate at all. Song Tao screams as his body is crushed. In an instant, is killed by the beast. The forest horn beast rises again, eyes glowing red. It roars. Siding immediately orders all units attack. Sokai charges in first, fists igniting in blazing fire. His attacks spin like a firestorm straight at the beast. Lu Dao follows up, swinging her staff and blasting lightning bolts. The monster roars in rage. Siding reassures the team, saying it's already falling apart. He smugly thinks the boss isn't as strong as the legend said. He draws his sword and rushes in, yelling, "Die, insect!" Suddenly, the trunkhorn beast starts absorbing energy around it. Its body crackles with deadly electric currents. Siding's expression shifts, realizing something's wrong. Lightning gathers on its sharp horn. Lu Dao screams in panic, warning them not to use elemental attacks. It's absorbing everything. She backs away, trembling as the beast gets stronger the more they fight. Siding's face darkens, admitting they can't win. The group slowly realizes the truth. Siding suddenly strikes Sukai's neck. Sokai drops. He weakly whispers, "Team leader," before passing. Lu Jiao stares at Siding in shock. Siding turns and punches her in the stomach. She collapses in pain, unable to react. Siding reveals his true nature, mocking them and running away. The monster stands over the unconscious bodies, roaring coldly. It steps towards Sukai, ready to crush him. Then Luji. But in that instant, Jui rushes in like a gust of wind and saves her. In his arms, Lu Jiao weakly asks why he saved her. Jui replies coldly but firmly, because she never bullied him or made him carry her bag. Flashback hits. He was once treated as a human shield due to his weakness. He was trampled and exploited just for being weak. Even now, he gets framed for no reason. In this world, only strength controls fate. Siding desperately reaches out, begging Jui for help. Has pinned down by the monster, humiliated. Jui's eyes stay icy cold. He won't let a monster touch him. Didn't you say that yourself, Captain Siding? Siding glared, but before he can respond, the monster finishes him off. Jui shows no emotion and carries Lu Jiao away. System alert, hypnotic pollen activated. He releases the pollen on her. She immediately falls unconscious. He thinks he should hide the monster's ability from her. He glances back at the beast. Jui smirks. Now it's just the two of them. He cracks his knuckles, excited to use others as stepping stones to grow stronger. The monster lunges at him instantly. Jui uses his tongue skill to launch onto a tree. System skill activated. He dodges smoothly by swinging upward. He analyzes how many traits he has absorbed so far. System activates Mantis Blade transformation. His arms turn into razor-sharp mantis scythes. He dives in and slashes the beast. No damage. Too tough. His upgraded blade still can't break the boss. A new idea flashes in his mind. He drops down instantly. He realizes the abdomen is the weak point. He darts in and slashes the monster's belly. Blood explodes out. The beast screams in pain. Jui smirks confident, but then he suddenly senses something behind him. The monster moves at insane speed. It unleashes a suction force. Jui gets launched into the air. He slams hard in a wall. Blood spills from his mouth as he coughs violently. He steadies himself, realizing how age-old the massive beast is. Lightning begins gathering on its horn again. It charges straight at him. Jui panics. A deafening explosion erupts across the forest. A blinding light floods the entire area. When the smoke clears, the surrounding trees are completely flattened. The monster stands frozen in shock, and Jui has already transformed into a tree spirit monster. System alert, tree spirit form activated. Wood-type defense is insane but extremely weak to fire. Jui's eyes light up, now confident in victory. Even if the boss is strong, every domain has its natural counter. He still senses something missing, one finishing move. A new idea flashes in his mind. Got it. System activates Thorn Spear trait. Jui extends his arm and grabs a nearby wooden blade. His expression turns sharp and focused. This decides everything. He stomps down hard. System activates Vine Binding. Tree spirit vines surge out, targeting the horned beetle beast. They wrap around it, trying to fully restrain the monster. Jui leaps in midair, eyes glowing gold, ready to strike. But the monster violently tears through the vines and breaks free. Jui is shocked. It broke out. No time to dodge! System triggers muscle amplification activated. Both collide head-on in a brutal impact. Jui's blade shatters against the beast's horn. He gets forced back instantly. He looks at the broken weapon and laughs coldly, then casually tosses it aside and grabs a large piece of wood. His confidence rises again. Facing the charging beast, he smirks. You're done. I've got your counter now. He swallows the wooden fragment whole. System alert, trait absorbed horn of the horned beetle beast. Armor evolution activated. A hardened armored shell forms over his body. The battlefield turns into pure chaos and noise. Trees collapse, debris flying everywhere. Jui is covered in blood and dirt, but he keeps fighting without hesitation. After a brutal clash, he stands victorious, laughing wildly. Behind him, a black rift opens alongside a glowing key. System secret realm key obtained. Can now enter a hidden realm. Jui wonders what a secret realm even is. The scene suddenly shifts. An ambulance races toward a hospital after a failed training mission. 3 dead, 1 critically injured, 1 lightly wounded. Jui arrives on scene. A harsh interrogation begins immediately. Why are you the only one unharmed? Jui freezes, unsure how to answer. What do I even say? A man named Korean pats a nearby officer. He leans in and warns coldly, questioning why the military is suspecting their chosen recruit. Jui pretends confusion, acting like he knows nothing. He thinks he might be seen as the mastermind behind the incident. The officer stammers, explaining the suspicion due to all selected trainees dying. Korean glances, then casually dismisses the tension with a joke. Alright, there's nothing more here for you. Jui stays silent, watching him carefully. Later, he sits alone on a rooftop, arms crossed. He senses the man might be indirectly protecting him, but he pushes the thought away. More importantly, what exactly is this secret realm? The insect god system appears, speaking clearly. It explains the secret realm is a hidden space within the abyss. Only the key in Jui's hand can open it. It adds that this is not something humans can normally obtain. Because Jui's power resembles a monster's, the abyss treated his battle as a territorial war between beasts, thus granting him the key. It might be a smart monster like the previous fungal beast, hiding secrets of the dark realm. He looks up confused. A countdown! Seriously! The insect god explains the key will disappear if not used within 24 hours. Joey stares at the key in his hand, deep in thought. He suddenly stands up. I'm going in, but first I've got something to finish. He smirks. Even if I die, I've... A scenes? Joey kneels in front of Aylin. Go out with me. Aylin instantly kicks him away. Are you messing with me? She clenches her fist. Say that again if you've got the guts. But Joey doesn't back down. Go out with me. He says it again, dead serious. Aylin punches him straight in the face. Blood splashes everywhere. Say it again! Even battered, Joey repeats it. I want you to go out with me. Aylin pauses, study him closely. He looks like a man walking toward his own death just to finish one last wish. She suddenly laughs out loud. You've got guts, she says, impressed. At a small cafe, they sit together drinking from a double straw cup. Their eyes sparkle a bit awkwardly. They watch a horror movie. He freaks out and clings to her arm. Simple. As sunset falls, they ride a bike down an empty road. Joey smiles proudly. I planned this date for 20 years, perfectly crafted. Now I can die without regrets. Aylin stays silent, watching him carefully. She stops the bike. I've seen many warriors before death. No matter how satisfied you feel, living is still better. Under the sunset light, her words hit deep. Survive. That's how you build the life you want. Joey freezes, staring at her. He turns slow. The lake reflects his thoughtful face. Thank you, I hope I'll have the courage to date you again. The insect god appears shocked. So this was just about dating. The key suddenly shatters in their hands. The sky shakes violently. A spatial gate. Joey steps forward, calm and resolved. Maybe you don't understand. But this is the ending I want for my past life. He walks into the gate. His figure fades away. The gate closes behind him. It leads into the dark mist forest's secret realm. Joey frowns at the eerie landscape. A massive snake-tailed ape appears, roaring aggressively. Looks like my old self already ran away, he thinks, but suddenly the system activates. He transforms into a Tregod beast and charges in. His blade slashes through its arm. He jumps in, shouting! Another ape appears from behind, bad timing. It grabs his leg instantly and throws him into a giant tree. Joey screams. 3 apes surround him. One grabs him tight and tears him apart. His upper body crashes into a tree. Blood floods the ground. He laughs through the pain, ha. System alert, hypnosis pollen activated. The beast keeps searching blindly. His body begins regenerating. Immortality skill act. Even in pain, he calculates the situation. Too many enemies, too strong in numbers. He realizes something. This place is similar to the last abyss. There must be a predator that counters these apes. He stands up as the pollen fades and they notice him again. The system triggers frog leap skill activated. Joey nimbly leaps from tree to tree, thinking he still has a chance. Behind him, the monkey beasts roar and keep chasing hard. He dashes across branches, but suddenly, one ape grabs his leg midair. It clamps down, grinning like it's already won. Joey stays calm, secreting slippery mucus to break free. Slime corrosion system activated. A spark flashes in his eyes, found ahead an enormous spider web. System alert, spider type loot the chew, guard level danger. He instantly transforms and charges straight at the spiders. System triggers whitetail mantis wing ability activated. The spiders panic at his sudden rush. He leaps onto them without hesitation. He calculates fast, use natural predator advantage to counter them. A sound suddenly comes from behind. 3 snake-tailed apes are already tangled in the web. The spiders drop down in mass. They bare their fangs and bite down into the apes. The apes scream in agony. Joey watches the trapped monkeys struggling. So they really are prey for these spiders. The spiders usually only hunt isolated targets. A noise behind him makes him turn. A whole pack of apes rushes into spider territory like they've gone insane. The spider beasts raise their claws, ready for war. Chaos erupts, both sides tear into each other in a brutal forest slaughter. Joey smirks as chaos is exactly what I need. System alert, scythe mantis skill activated. He dives from above, arms turning into razor blades. One ape gets slashed hard. Blood explodes everywhere. He stays cold-headed, picking off isolated targets to balance the battlefield. In the chaos, he bites into an ape's arm. He chews the flesh directly, trying to absorb traits, but suddenly his body itches weirdly. Huh! Why isn't it work? The insect god appears, annoyed. Idiot. You can't just bite randomly. You need the correct body part for each trait. The system marks the exact location of the trait on the ape's biceps. Joey snaps to attention and bites the marked muscle. He chews violently, ripping it apart. System confirms new trait acquired endurance enhancement. He glances at the battlefield, already planning his next evolution. System keeps updating poison tail, paralysis resistance, toxin immunity activated. His snake-ape hybrid arm evolves into a giant mutated form. Covered in blood, Joey is no longer his old self, cold, ruthless, efficient. He moves through the battlefield like a lightning streak, smiling with victory. Content reference Joey set index. Blue lightning bursts around him as he reaches a gate surrounded by flames. The insect god warns this is the boss territory, extremely dangerous. He notices a pile of bones burning faintly. Something glows on top of it. A gem. He reaches out and grabs it. What is he asks? The insect god explains a secret realm treasure, an ultra-rare mana crystal storing absorbed monster energy. It can either be fully absorbed for power or used to tear space open and escape safely. Joey stares at it, inner conflict raging. Power up or safe, exit, life or risk. His eyes harden. This is my best chance to grow stronger. He steps forward into the burning zone. If I haven't even seen the boss yet, how can I run? Flames roar, cliffs glowing like molten iron. A boss-class humanoid insect beast appears, sitting on its throne of fire, danger level unknown. Joey watches from afar, but the aura alone screams danger. This is the secret realm boss. The monster stands like a king, staring down at him. Humans, the ones who slaughtered our race. Joey recalls that talking mushroom beast earlier and starts wondering, do these monsters actually have a society? But before he can think further, the horned insect beastman raises its weapon. And instantly it charges straight at him. The speed is insane. Joey barely dodges, drenched in sweat, heart racing. The monster mutters something under its breath. Its voice is eerie and alien. No connection to the outside world, so how did a human get in here? Joey freezes. Wait, connection between the secret realm and Earth. But the monster doesn't care to explain. It'll make you confess later. Its eyes flare with killing intent. A burst of energy pierces straight through Joey. He coughs blood violently and gets slammed into a stone pillar. Pain explodes through his body. His abdomen is torn open, brutal damage. The system activates, starting emergency healing. The horned beastman watches closely, intrigued. That regeneration speed, same as our kind. Interesting. It'll capture him for research. Spear strikes rain down like a storm, pure domination. The system activates visual enhancement. Joey's perception sharpens instantly. Even against this monster's power, he realizes the attack patterns are simple, predictable. Joey slips through the gaps, moving like a shadow, eyes locked in. His mind is running full analysis mode. He closes the distance, preparing a finishing strike. The system triggers a new trait, corrosive slime fist. Joey swings from behind, aiming to land a critical hit. In the sea of flames, the horned beastman stands unshaken, locking onto him. It decides it's time to burn everything to ashes. Its strike speed becomes a blur, too fast for the eye. Joey barely blocks it with his special gloves. He activates a system privilege, hard skin armor formed from forest beast scales, boosting regeneration and defense to insane levels. The beastman gets even more violent, attacking nonstop. Joey is forced into full retreat, dodging lethal blows. A voice warns him the armor is melting. Use the escape gem now? Joey's eyes burn with stubborn resolve. So I'm losing already? As the beastman slams its spear down, Joey sees a gap and darts behind it. The system flashes new skill available, giant snake longarm strike. But the beastman somehow reacts instantly. It spins its spear overhead like a tornado. This guy is no joke. Joey gets blown away like a leaf in a storm. Flames erupt across the ground, spreading wider and hotter. The beastman fully commits no mercy, total annihilation. Its face turns cold and emotionless. Flames morph into blade-like projectiles shooting at Joey. He's completely on the defensive now. He jumps desperately to avoid the barrage. But the fire snakes after him like it's alive. He tries a system skill frog jump and instantly realizes it's useless. Damn, I can't fully dodge this! System warning, immortality healing, cannot recover severe critical wounds anymore. Joey panics, his regen isn't enough anymore. The horned beastman roars, human, I will melt you completely. Content reference I set index C. Even surrounded by flames, Joey refuses to back down. His eyes flare with one thought, go all in. The system arms him with the beast spear trait, power surging. He bursts forward like a falling meteor. The one who dies is you. The spear strikes straight at the horned beastman's head. Barely a scratch. The beastman freezes for a full 5 seconds. Joey is stunned, he actually failed that badly. The beastman gathers flames and fires back instantly. Joey is swallowed in a sea of fire. Completely engulfed, no escape. He's running out of strength. The system guardian warns him this enemy is beyond him, retreat or die. It pulls out an escape gem and tries forcing activation. But Joey already threw it away earlier. The gem shatters on the ground. The guardian is furious and helpless. Joey calmly accepts death. His thoughts blur, still confused, still processing. Red energy leaks out from the broken gem. It wraps around Joey. His body suddenly turns golden. The beastman is shaken. What is this power? Even it can't stand steady anymore. The system analyzes the situation. His courage triggers a hidden condition. Second trial cleared, battle form unlocked. Golden light explodes like a star around him. Joey looks down, heart racing in disbelief. New power awakens, battle form lets traits evolve freely. Joey regains confidence and stands again. The beastman prepares a named ultimate flame attack. The blast tears through the battlefield like a storm. Joey's resolve only grows stronger. Battle form armor fuses beast traits into adaptive bioarmor. He realizes this thing is actually insane. The beastman still claims hell win no matter what. He ignores the smoke, fully confident. Then suddenly realizes something is wrong. System boosts longarm snake trait and full combo link activation. multiple traits now stack with no cooldown. Joey locks in a lethal combo strategy. His stats explode: strength, speed, durability, all x10. The beastman freezes, no visible damage at all. It can't believe what it's seeing. It rushes in to confirm it's real. Joey locks in, eyes sharp and cold. Combo assault begins. Content reference CD index. The horned beastman was caught off guard by Chuni's speed and got hammered by a rain of attacks. What the? He panicked. Chuni suddenly turned eerily calm, lifting one leg and locking into a mountain steady stance. He was clearly setting up a sky-piercing kick. His arms stretched out like a serpent blade, ready to finish things. Chuni's fingers twisted into rope-like tendrils, binding the horned beastman's limbs. Then he made a subtle motion with his hand. One-handed force alone sent the beastman flying off balance. The horned beastman slammed a hand down just to stay upright, barely alive. Rage hit its peak as he cursed loudly. This fight with Chuni was far from over. He dropped his weapon and stumbled back, now too scared to talk trash. He glanced behind him and locked onto a glowing stake, making a reckless decision. He reached out, telling himself that even if evolution resets to 0, it's worth it. Then he drove the stake into the ground, triggering a burst of molten lava. Chuni watched in silence, confused by the weird move. The horned beastman became the center of a strange energy vortex as he collapsed. The air turned scorching hot as flames spread everywhere. He laughed madly, declaring Chuni would regret not killing him earlier, while fire wrapped around Chuni like a devouring beast. Chuni ignored him completely and shifted into defense mode. His eyes lit up with complex circular patterns like a built-in system. He scanned the beastman's body, revealing weak points and extractable traits glowing at different intensities. Chuni switched stance again, aura exploding like a full-throttle engine. He shot forward like a gust of wind, leaving only dust behind. The horned beastman panicked as Chuni vanished. Where did he go? Suddenly, a foot flashed right in front of his face like lightning. Before he could react, Chuni spun him with a crushing kick, sending him crashing into a wall as rocks exploded everywhere. The beastman struggled to stand, completely drained. He finally admitted in fear, "Has a monster, a real monster?" Chuni struck a smug pose and laughed. "Correct. And a super handsome one too." Then he explained his Mantis Blade Frocket combo. His long fingers picked up a stone from the ground. He casually bit into it, challenging the beastman's toughness. The horned beastman suddenly got up, claiming he had recovered his power. He flexed wildly, igniting a raging inferno around him. Screaming, he declared the heaven flame would turn Chuni to ash. The burning blast charged straight at Chuni's position, but he didn't move. Calm as a mountain, he raised a hand. The raging flames seemed to swallow him whole. But in an instant, they were violently blown away like they never existed. The horned beastman froze in shock and screamed in despair. Chuni stood tall holding a spear, smirking. "Ever heard your horn tastes like black pepper?" His grin turned savage as he taunted him further. The beastman fell silent, completely broken and speechless. The massive creature collapsed, crying internally and begging to go home. Chuni pointed his spear at him and asked if he could withstand his own technique. The system triggered an evolution upgrade: Horned Beastman Horn trait enhanced to Horned Beastman Spearhorn form. Gained Heaven Flame attribute, allowing the horn to resist heat and gain a new combat skill. Joey immediately tests it without hesitation. Heavenly Flame Furnace is now fully under his control. The heavy Horned Beastman screams in pure panic, backing away helplessly. No, don't. Joey finishes him off cleanly, like a blade slicing through the wind. The heavy Horned Beastman ends up tasting his own flames for the first and last time. He lets out a final brutal howl before dropping for good. The raging flames devour his flesh, forcing non-stop screams of agony. In seconds, his entire body turns to ash and scatters into the empty battlefield air. Joey stands alone, surrounded by thick smoke and silence. Then a round amber-like crystal appears, the Beast Lord drop. Joey stares at it, frozen for a second, like, what even is this? Insect god Akai Xiaoqiang explains this is a Beast Lord stone seal, only dropped by top-secret realm bosses. It unlocks the Imperial Guard Iron Guard transformation compendium. Joey pauses, then gets a bit proud. Looks like little Chubby actually has value. He points his claw and taps the glowing seal. It instantly shatters on contact. The system pops up: Xiaopang's image, Imperial Guard Iron Guard unlocked, heavy Horned Beastman data acquired. Another hologram appears showing sharp horns and details, prompt asking activate transformation, energy at 100. Joey, slightly tense, answers yes. Xiaopang literally springs out like a compressed spring. His bulky body starts evolving at insane speed. Boom, giant beast form lands, lock-in eyes with Joey, fully intimidating. He opens his jaws full of sharp teeth. Boss, why did I get shorter? Joey instantly gets hyped. This is actually insane. Xiaopang kneels down, muscles exploding, covered in spikes everywhere. The system displays his beastman form, wild tribal lord style. Transformation rank confirmed, lord class guard level. Xiaopang starts questioning reality. Is this still me? Why do I look uglier now? Insect god flies in and explains this isn't just looks, future kills unlock more compendium forms and growing power. Suddenly, a giant stone pillar starts collapsing straight down. Compared to it, everyone looks like tiny bugs in its shadow. Xiaopang turns instantly alert, fists clenched, eyes locked in focus. He casually catches the falling pillar with one hand. No sweat. Then he just tosses it aside like trash into the smoke. Before he can flex, his huge body starts awkwardly shrinking again. He panics, saying he can't even fit through doors anymore and begs not to be seen as useless. Joey bonks him right on the head. Joey tells him to toughen up and follow him. He wants to test his current strength. Xiaopang summons a pitch-black spear from his palm. He grips it tightly, aiming straight forward. Then he dashes like a storm. The ground explodes into debris under his charge. Joey calmly blocks the attack with his left arm. A lava-like explosion erupts, swallowing Zhou Yi's entire position. Xiaopeng shields his face, then Zhou Yi walks out of the smoke completely unharmed. Zhou Yi casually rates it 5 stars. Boss level attack didn't even scratch him. Insect God appears proudly. Xiaopeng is now in 100 Secret Realm Lord state. This is the true power of the Imperial Guard Iron Guard. Zhou Yi raised his 5 fingers and shouted absorb. The chubby little beast vanished in an instant. He smirked in satisfaction as the horned beast trait evolved again, now boosted with powerful fire abilities. Dude couldn't hide his confidence anymore. Little Fatty can now transform into a horned beast warrior, insane combat power. That's his hidden trump card for clutch moments, he thought. While planning ahead, Zhou Yi felt he had done everything he needed. Next up, the selection tournament. His fighting spirit burned like wildfire in this scorching land. With this setup, he basically had a Dungeon Lord alley ready anytime. No matter what the tournament throws at him, he's confident. He's definitely joining the killing squad. Determination locked in. 3 days later, from a mountain slope, he finally saw the massive arena rising ahead. Heavy footsteps echoed through the air. Zhou Yi walked alone straight into the crowd. He lifted his head and blended into the chaotic sea of people. The stands erupted with loud cheers everywhere. Zhou Yi felt something weird, crowd packed like ants, yet the seating situation felt strangely off. He scanned the area carefully. The Killing Squad Selection Tournament is the biggest event in Minghai City. From the high tower, the team leader and A-Lin observed everything sharply. This wasn't just a tournament, it was a power war. A-Lin explained all 4 major families are sending representatives. The winner decides the city council leader for the next 4 years. Zhou Yi felt the pressure kick in instantly. His eyes followed a group in black outfits moving like the wind. A-Lin introduced him Bai Houyu from the Bai family. The Bai family controls intelligence operations. Their scouts wear golden claw boots, clearly elite. Cut to a scarfist young man Tony Olaf, military representative. Olaf is a top contender for the championship. The military wants control of the killing squad to dominate the city. His team radiated pressure. Tony walked up to Bai Houyu, arrogance written all over his face. Bai Houyu lowered his gaze, showing absolute loyalty. The crowd went wild with cameras flashing, then suddenly Karen from the Ability Church appeared. Her first public appearance. Platinum hair, calm expression, followed by eerie masked followers. Her eyes were ice cold, completely emotionless. A-Lin explained her ability likely involves mind control. Even her followers avoid direct eye contact. Zhou Yi narrowed his eyes. Something about them felt seriously wrong. A-Lin added the church is still useful for stability and research resources on abilities. Tony and Bai Houyu kept watching the church group closely. Bai Houyu muttered in surprise that the Ability Church even sent a participant. Tony smirked. Don't worry about her. Our target isn't her, it's that guy. He pointed toward a group of 3 in white uniforms standing in the distance. A-Lin introduced him Zhong Tai from the Zhong family, glasses on with huge mechanical gloves. Zhong Tai looked uneasy under all those stares. Tony mocked him instantly. The Zhong family really couldn't find anyone better. Sending this useless kid. Tony shows his true bully nature, smirking as he offers Zhong Tai a way out if he admits defeat, even promising the Zhong family a place in the parliament. Zhong Tai, small but iron-willed, refuses hard. He says even if Zhong family gets erased from parliament, they'll never become military dogs. Tony's face darkens as he coldly threatens them, hinting that soon only 3 great families will remain in Minghai City. Zhou Yi watches from the side, instantly sensing the tension is far from friendly. A-Lin keeps Zhou Yi in sight and reports via transmission. Zhong family runs the Ability Research Institute and is an ally of the Extermination Squad, but they're the weakest of the 4. Military's goal is to strip Zhong family's seat in parliament and expand control. The commander hopes Zhou Yi ranks high to help protect them. Virian trusts him. Zhou Yi replies firmly, I'll do my best. A-Lin cuts the transmission. She turns to Virian, asking if he really values Zhou Yi that much. A-Lin worries that if the military takes over parliament, the Extermination Squad is in serious trouble. Virian calmly says Zhou Yi saved Lu Yao and survived the abyss, proving his capability. Fireworks explode over the arena, lighting up the sky. The crowd goes wild, cheering like a festival is underway. The entire arena feels like a celebration ground. Massive green roots burst from the ground, twisting up and forming a giant lotus-like platform. The petals slowly open, revealing a figure inside. A girl steps out, greeting everyone and introducing herself as Harley Kaman, Team 10 leader and first-round judge of the Extermination Squad. She explains the rules: 3 total rounds, and this first round is called Extreme Climbing. Behind her is a mountain path with 100 stone steps. Reaching step 10 already counts as passing. Then she drops the bomb. About 2/3 of them are expected to die on this mountain. She smiles eerily while saying it, like it's nothing unusual. The crowd freezes in shock, panicking as whispers spread die. The announcement echoes across the entire arena. The contestants stand stunned, repeating in fear, we're going to die. Harley smiles calmly and says the Extermination Squad will do its best to protect them, but they still need to be careful. She raises her hand and declares the first round officially begins. The atmosphere instantly ignites with chaos and tension. The contestants look at each other, completely confused. An arrogant guy steps forward, shouting it's just a mountain climb, nothing special. He laughs it off, saying there's nothing hard about it. Without hesitation, he rushes forward. The others quickly follow behind him in a wave. From afar, a few observers look at them like idiots. Tony LF sneers, calling them a bunch of fools who don't know death is coming. The arrogant leader glances back, full of confidence, saying the elite of the 4 great families is nothing, he'll take first place. He steps onto the stone stairs. A sudden purple light erupts out of nowhere. His face instantly turns pale. The entire space gets swallowed by the strange purple glow, confusing everyone. He panics, shouting where has been taken. Then his consciousness fades, eyes going completely blank. The other contestants also fall into the same trance-like state. Joey stares in shock, confused, wondering why everyone just froze in place. Harley calmly smiles and explains this isn't just a climb. The 100 stone steps are made from the bones of a demon king-class beast. She adds that even though it's just remains, it drags anyone who steps on it into an illusion, stopping them from ever reaching the top. She watches the candidates struggling inside the illusion, endless screams echoing through the space. No, this can't be, someone blurted out. Hallie's gaze turns ice-cold. If they can't escape the illusion realm in time, death is the only outcome. She glances at the injured students lying everywhere. Hallie raises her hand, a healing light flashes as she heals them, then coldly declares, "You're eliminated." Jongyi freezes, thinking, so this is it, everyone's done for. Aylin speaks through telepathy, explaining each illusion realm has a clear objective: survive until the timer ends, break through a barrier, or defeat a designated monster. But inside, she can't contact him on his own. Joey listens in silence, eyes locked tightly on the stairs, pressure sinking in. On the other side, Tony Olaf commands his subordinates sharply, aiming for the championship in the top rank. The team roars back in response, momentum surging. Tony Olaf steps on the staircase, brows slightly furrowed, eyes razor sharp. Ahead of him, a raging flame erupts, displaying a 5 hours timer. The flames twist and swirl violently, surrounding a massive monster. Tony smirks, thinking this illusion realm was basically built to counter his power. He studies the monster calmly, deciding it only needs 5 minutes. He immediately orders his subordinates backup plan 1.
They respond in unison, yes!
Water magic is unleashed instantly, blasting straight into the monster. Tony curls his lips into a grin, snaps his fingers, water instantly freezes into sharp ice spears, piercing the beast. The monster's flames slowly die out. Tony and his team move forward confidently, unstoppable aura rising. Watching from above, Corey Varian comments in surprise, asking Aylin if all their elite awakeners are this strong, noting the team must have invested heavily for the championship. Aylin feels uneasy seeing how relaxed he is, muttering that the commander is still too calm. Corey Varian reassures her calmly, saying it's not time to panic yet. He explains the first 10 levels are just filters to eliminate unqualified rookies. For elites, it's nothing serious. As they climb higher, difficulty spikes dramatically, subordinates will be sacrificed, and only one can survive to decide victory. To reach the peak, you either crush everything with overwhelming power, or adapt perfectly to any situation. His gaze briefly lands on Joey with deep expectation. On the stands, the crowd mocks Joey, wondering why someone is still at the starting area, laughing and taunting him for being scared. Joey closes his eyes, taking a deep breath to steady himself. He opens them again, his gaze turns sharp. He steps forward decisively, going up, but the moment his foot lands, something feels wrong. He slips and falls straight off the cliff. Midair, he realizes the cliff is completely smooth like glass, no foothold at all. He quickly summons his weapon, driving its tip into the rock wall, using it to stabilize himself in fighter form. Suddenly, he senses a strange presence behind him. Turning around, he sees a winged monster rushing in for the attack. Joey calmly assesses the situation: slippery cliff, no footing, airborne enemy, a messy setup. He opens his system interface, selects a combo: poison barb, tail, adhesive blade enhancement. He raises his head again, eyes burning with confidence. With his current strength, he swings his whip, striking the monster hard. Blood splatters everywhere as the massive beast collapses, plunging into the abyss below. He stands there smirking like he just enjoyed a sweet snack. Returning to calm, Joey continues forward, his figure steady like a mountain. He thinks to himself, the monsters here look fierce, but their strength is only on par with low-tier beasts from the Silent Forest. Based on what Master Lin once said, deeper levels will upgrade them into true guardians, but for his current power, they're not even a threat. Ein Content reference Index. Joey's steps suddenly slow as he scans the surroundings, instantly on guard. A strange labyrinth-like illusion unfolds before him. He frowns slightly, tightening his grip on his weapon. He senses how unpredictable this illusion realm is, pure chaos for normal fighters, but Joey just smirks, eyes flashing with confidence. A flaming vortex suddenly erupts as his blade ignites, and he swings it down hard. Nearby contestant shoots him a contemptuous glance. The guy mocks him, saying he barely climbed 2 steps yet acts cool, starting last like his the main character. Joey ignores him completely and kicks off the ground, blasting forward like a windstorm, leaving everyone behind in shock. The crowd goes silent, then erupts as insane! They immediately turn on the guy who mocked him, fury exploding in the group. The guy gets beaten down hard while begging for mercy, completely humiliated. From the stands, Corey Varian notices the pace accelerating beyond expectations. He mutters that at this rate, Joey might actually reach the top. Aylin freezes, remembering the past version of Joey. Flashback hits. Joey once confidently suggested reckless battle plans like it was nothing. Another memory, he boldly declared he wouldn't abandon those who saved him. Aylin realizes how far has come now, his challenging the entire illusion realm itself. Suddenly, the announcer reports results from higher levels. One participant is level 30. Another stops at 35. Records are being broken across the board. But the leader is still Tony Olaf, marching forward arrogantly with his team. Jongja collapses on the stairs, drenched in sweat, has barely breathing, completely exhausted. He grits his teeth, watching his teammates fall behind. He realizes they were ambushed inside the illusion realm. This was a setup. Despair hits hard as he reaches level 31, far from the family record. Suddenly, a voice calls his name: Jongja. He looks up and freezes. Tony Olaf is standing right in front of him, smirking coldly, offering humiliation disguised as mercy. Tony mocks him, telling him to crawl out like a dog if he wants to survive. The insult cuts deep, breaking his composure. Tears start falling despite his effort to hold them back. Then, footsteps echo sharp and unwavering. Tony's expression shifts slightly, sensing something off. A figure walks forward calmly, step by step, unfazed by everything. Tony Olaf mutters in surprise. Jongja watches him pass in disbelief. Someone even admits he might be a hidden monster-level talent. Jongja desperately calls out for help, but Joey doesn't stop. He simply replies while walking forward, "Wait there. I'll handle it." Aylin watches from afar, stunned by his unstoppable momentum. Tony Olaf roars at his exhausted team, forcing them to keep pushing despite their limits. He accelerates forward, determined to break the family's 50-level record, but Joey is already closing in on him from behind like a storm. Dine content reference UI sit index. The subordinates grit their teeth and keep climbing, step after step. The two guys with Tony Olaf are totally drained, collapsing one by one, and even Tony is bent over, gasping, sweat pouring down. Still, Tony tells himself, yeah, he went a bit crazy, but that speed was insane. Through the exhaustion, he looks down for Chun-Yi, wondering where that brat disappeared to. No need to search. Chun-Yi is already right in front of Tony Olaf, smiling bright like his on a morning jog. Tony's face freezes. How is this guy not even tired? Without hesitation, Chun-Yi speeds up again, laughing, casually calling out that second place is his now. Tony's veins pop, rage boiling. But there's nothing he can do except glare at Chun-Yi's back. After widening the gap, Chun-Yi suddenly stops. He turns around, smirks, and teases what happened. Too tired? Come on, man up! That taunt hits like fuel on fire. Tony roars back, swearing hell make him pay, then forces himself to keep climbing. From the stands, Hallie shouts excitedly, Chun-Yi just reached step 60, and he still looks unstoppable. Hallie's voice goes even higher, step 82. Chun-Yi keeps charging without slowing down. Step 99, his tied Deukolos record. One more step and he takes the crown. The entire arena explodes. People can't believe Chun-Yi is about to clear the illusion realm. Who even is this guy? The ones who bet everything on Tony Olaf are losing their minds, especially the old bookie staring in pure shock. In his head, one thought repeats. It's that kid from earlier. He remembers Chun-Yi confidently saying he bet everything on himself to win the championship. Now seeing Chun-Yi in the lead, the bookie feels cold sweat. He's about to go bankrupt. Chun-Yi steps onto the final stair, standing tall at the summit, coat fluttering like a final boss entrance. He slowly turns to the crowd and shouts, anyone else? Suddenly, a strange sound comes from the earpiece he's wearing. On the other end, Aylin starts scolding him, saying she told him to help clear the monsters, not show off after one win. Chun-Yi just shrugs with a grin, saying relax, mission will be completed. Then he pulls out his blade. In the next second, he dives down the stairs like a gust of wind, moving so fast it's unreal. The crowd freaks out. Isn't he supposed to leave from the safe path after finishing? Instead, Chun-Yi accelerates straight back toward Tony Olaf. He flashes past Tony, teasing that the guy hasn't even reached step 50 yet. You good, bro? Tony stands there shaking with rage. This guy came back just to humiliate him. Finally, Chun-Yi stops in front of Jongja. From above, he looks down at Jongja struggling step by step, drenched in sweat. Jongja looks up, totally confused, like, wait, what just happened? No extra words, Jongyi grabs him straight up. He throws Jongji over his shoulder and dashes forward. Bra's still buffering. Tony Olaf sees this and turns pale, sweat pouring. He wanted to carry someone too, but clearly not built like that. Jongyi keeps running toward the stairs, carrying Jongja like it's nothing. His eyes turn cold. That don't mess with me aura kicks in. Inside the illusion, flames explode everywhere. Volcanoes erupt, lava floods the world. Jongyi plants his feet and draws a glowing blue barrier, shielding them from the heat. The illusion shifts again. Now it's a dense forest packed with mutated monsters. Jongyi swings through the trees one-handed, holding Jongja with the other. Clean hits. Monsters back off instantly. Scene change, a massive ocean appears. Giant razor-toothed fish rush in. Calm as ever, Jongyi spreads his wings and flies. The fish below can only scream in frustration. Jongju gets carried through illusion after illusion. He wanted to help, but Jongyi moves too fast. Bro can't even react. Jongja smiles helplessly. At this point, being luggage is his best contribution. Just a few minutes later, Jongyi lands firmly on another step. He gently sets Jongja down. Ironically, the one who looks exhausted is the guy who got carried. Jongja spots the marker stone and shouts, step 50! Jongyi stays calm. As long as we're above Tony Olaf, we're good. Jongja tears up on the spot, emotional damage reversed. He bows deeply. After this competition, he'll repay you. From now on, you're the benefactor of the Jong family. Before he finishes, Tony Olaf's furious roar echoes from below. His catching up. Jongyi glances back lazily. Just one look at the struggling Tony. Tony, face red from being surpassed, snaps. Do you even know what you've done? You just ruined our 4-year plan! Climbing step by step, he keeps threatening. Some kid from Minghai City dares challenge the Olaf family. Tony narrows his eyes. You're finished. Jongyi doesn't care. He looks at Tony like his background noise. A memory flashes. Back in a forest secret realm, a former team captain once betrayed him with explosives in his bag. That memory shifts to him lying in a hospital bed, badly injured. Police grabbing his collar, shouting, what happened inside? Why are you the only one unharmed? Jongyi lowers his head. Guys like them are always arrogant, creating enemies everywhere and blaming others for it. Snapping out of it, he glances at Jongji, who looks totally lost. Jongyi clenches his fist. Low voice. Want me to help you vent some anger? Jongja's eyes light up instantly. Big grin. Say less, just add money. In a blink, dust exploded off the ground, and Jongyi was gone like a ghost. Tony Olaf's face turned pale. Dude was stunned. Before he could even react, Jong-yi's kick was already right in front of him. The kick hit like a hurricane, smashing straight into Tony Olaf's face and sending him flying, blood spraying everywhere. His face twisted, swollen and wrecked, and he roared in humiliation. Even the extermination squad captain will dare defy me. Who does this guy think he is? Tony Olaf rolled down the stairs like a ragdoll, crashing step after step. And yeah, the whole thing was caught clearly on camera. In a sealed room, a man sat in a large chair, cold eyes locked on the screen, watching Tony's miserable fall. His subordinate stood beside him in silence. The man suddenly pushed himself up from the chair, teeth clenched, fury barely contained. He growled, "Jun-ding, I want everything on Jong-yi tonight." The man in black beside him was Bai Jun-ding, director of Manhwa Intelligence and the current patriarch of the Bai family. And the one giving orders was Rosalov, speaker of Manhwa City and patriarch of the Olaf family. His fist tightened. "Whoever dares touch us, make him regret opening his eyes." The city lights flickered over crowded streets and towering skyscrapers piercing the sky. But in a quiet corner stood an old apartment block, worn by time, hiding its own stories. Inside a small unit, Ju-yi lounged on the sofa, one leg on the table, looking way too relaxed. He munched on chips casually, mind drifting back to the selection tournament that ended 2 days ago. In his head, Tony Olaf's defeated body at the stairway replayed again. Something was off about round 1. Tony was hyped like crazy before the match, yet finished third. Still strong though. After Ju-yi kicked him down the mountain, the guy clawed his way back up alone and only fell at the 49th floor. Not bad. His thoughts shifted to the gambling boss he met after the match. The man had knelt on the floor, pale and shaking. "Thank you, big boss, for sparing my life." Before the match, Jong-yi had bet all his magic crystal stones from the abyss, plus the gambler's organs on a 1 out of 1,000 payout. He walked out with a heavy bag of winnings, leaving the boss bankrupt. The guy sold everything and barely scraped together 50 gold coins. Not a small amount. 1 gold coin now equals about 100,000 pre-apocalypse. Ju-yi remembered Lin saying that 50 gold coins was basically her entire yearly income from hunting monsters. He sighed lightly. "Guess I made a small fortune." After Ju-yi helped him out, Jong-shi settled the reward quickly. And the payment from the Jong family's young master during the tournament? Huge bonus. Suddenly, the apartment door was kicked open with a thunderous bang. Ju-yi jolted and snapped his head toward the shattered door. Lin stood there, face dark, eyes blazing. She crossed her arms and strode in. Ju-yi scrambled up, still holding his chips, looking awkward. Lin pointed straight at him. "The Jong family gave you a 3-story villa for free and you choose this rundown apartment? Are you dumb?" Ju-yi pursed his lips. Okay, now he knew why she came. He calmly pointed out the window. "This place is close to your extermination squad building. Safer." From his window, her apartment building stood clearly across the street. Lin paused. The anger in her eyes softened a little. Then she said firmly, "Money isn't for wasting. In the apocalypse, every coin should make you stronger." After saying that, Lin handed Joey a small black ticket. She calmly explained, "There's an auction tonight, and she's taking him to broaden his horizons." Joey stared at the ticket, still confused, wondering what kind of auction this even is. Night falls, and the whole city turns mysterious real quick. On a quiet street, Lin leads the way while Joey follows behind. He looks around like a kid on his first field trip, curious about everything. Then a rat suddenly jumps out and bro almost throws hands. He grumbles about holding an auction in a shady place like this. Lin casually drops the truth, "This is a black market." The scene shifts. They arrive at a remote corner where almost no one passes by. Lin steps forward and knocks gently on a massive door. The heavy door slowly creaks open. Inside feels foggy and secretive, like something big is hidden there. She walks in confidently and tells Joey to follow closely. Joey trails behind, heart racing, eyes on full alert. Suddenly, another door opens somewhere in the dark. Lights blast on all at once, nearly blinding him. When his vision clears, he sees men in black everywhere. And yeah, every single one of them is pointing a gun at them. A man steps forward from the crowd and removes his hood. His face stays hidden behind a black mask, cold eyes locked on Lin's invitation. A woman with twin buns hands him a document. He checks it line by line, not missing a detail. After confirming it's legit, he nods and tells them to follow. Joey and Lin carefully step inside the strange room. The interior is dim, filled with low whispers. Joey blurts out, "Wow, that's a lot of people." He finds a seat but keeps scanning the place. Then he leans over and asks the real question, "Is this even legal?" Lin calmly replies, "With the Bai family backing this, legal or not doesn't matter." The camera cuts to the second floor. Inside a luxurious private room of the Olaf family. A man in a hat bows respectfully. He reports to Hi, number 17, that Lin from the extermination team is here with Joey. Hi, the Olaf family representative, watches them from above. A strange smile forms on his lips. Talk about a narrow road for enemies. On stage, a pair of long, elegant legs steps out. The host, Booney, greets the guests with an energetic smile. She pulls back the red curtain, hyped to reveal the first item. And boom, a flawless mermaid tail. She announces its rare monster meat with insane anaging effects. Starting bid 1 gold coin. The crowd explodes, people already dreaming about extending their lifespan. Even a small golden snake scans it and confirms the trait level. But Joey just frowns, wondering why everyone's going crazy over this thing. Lin frowned hard. "You serious? That thing can extend lifespan and you call it trash." Boney pulled another curtain, introducing the leftover auction relics. Tonight only starting at 100 silver coins. A guy in sunglasses scoffed. "Scam again? What's this junk even good for?" The blonde man crossed his arms. "Not every monster corpse is valuable. Feels like they're baiting newbies." The golden snake hovering above Joey muttered, multiple monster corpses detected. Traits EAD. Joey smirked. Oh, he saw the value instantly. He shot his hand up. All of them. Boney smiled on stage, eyes gleaming. Jackpot found an easy target. Joey chuckled to himself. Big profit incoming. Lin leaned over and whispered, you're actually hopeless. Boney dramatically unveiled the next item. Now the highlight of the night, from a crank Abyss. The eternal winter crystal of the Highland Frost Wraith Lord. Lin's eyes locked onto it. She whispered to Joey, this is the one I need. The curtain dropped. A shimmering crystal lit the room. Over 50 purity. Perfect form. Top tier quality for any ice-type awakener. Starting 1 gold coin. Lin hesitated for a second. Memories of that blazing red monster flashed back. The fear in her own eyes that day. The humiliation burned. With this crystal, Chuju Shu's ice power would skyrocket. She clenched her teeth. Never again. She raised her bidding plate without hesitation. Number 17 bids. Anyone else? From a private room, someone pressed a controller. A golden number lit up. Number 1 has entered the chat. Boney announced loudly, VIP number 1 bids 10 gold coins. Each raise adds 1 gold from now on. Inside the VIP room, Hai smirked. So Lin wants that frost crystal too. Too bad. Young Master Tony wants it. Lin turned sharply toward the Olaf family's private booth. Olaf wants it too. Great, this just got messy. She lifted her plate again. Number 17, 11 gold coins. Hai immediately countered. Number 1, 15 gold coins. Lin didn't flinch. Number 17 gold coins. Hai snapped back. Number 1, 25. Someone nearby gasped. Is she crazy? Going against Olaf? Another whispered. Isn't she from the extermination squad? Zhongyi glanced at Lin, worry written all over his face. From above, Hai mocked. What's a vice captain worth? 30 gold maybe. Lin slowly looked up. Her gaze was ice cold. She raised the plate. 30 gold coins. Boney hyped the crowd. This is the hottest auction tonight. Will number 17 win it? Lin's heart was heavy. That was all her savings. This had to work. Suddenly, Muni's eyes widened. Hai lazily raised his hand. Not over yet. Number 1, 35 gold. The entire hall fell silent. Joey saw Lin's pale face. This was bad. Then a voice called out from behind. Vice Captain Zhou Yi. A burly man stepped forward with a polite gesture. He sneered while delivering the message. Our boss says broke already. If you can't afford it, don't come. We don't welcome the poor. Laughter echoed across the hall. Hai leaned back, enjoying the show. Boney raised her hand. Last chance, everyone. Suddenly, the bidding plate was snatched away. Zhongyi stood up straight, tall and firm. He raised the plate high, 50 gold coins. The entire venue froze, absolute shock. And, sitting upstairs, stared at Zhongyi's confident face. For the first time, he looked worried. Meanwhile, the guy next door is laughing like he's watching the best drama of the year. Inside the private room, he keeps smashing the bid button. He brags out loud, saying no one's dared to challenge the Olaf family like this in years. Down on stage, Buni raises her hand and fires back 55 gold coins. The man instantly counters, smug as ever, 60 gold. The host gasps, 70 ADP. Number 1 just hit. Joey just smirks from his seat. He lifts one finger, calm but firm, 90 gold. Lin panics and whispers, Joey, we can't afford that. Joey does the math fast. They only have 80 combined, but with Zhongji backing them, he's still confident. Suddenly, a quiet voice appears behind them, saying it's just a little gold. Zhongji walks in with a leather bag on his shoulder, smiling like this is nothing, promising to cover whatever they lack. The guard behind the Olaf guy starts sweating, warning they've already blown past the family budget. Joey grins and casually taunts the balcony, if you can't afford it, don't play broke boy. That hits hard. The guy snaps instantly. Night falls over the street outside. The man lowers his voice, thanking Joey and promising to repay him slowly. Joey just gives a thumbs up, telling him all money should be used to grow stronger. Then out of nowhere, a strange sound cuts through the air. Zhongji freezes, stammering, what was that? Lin checks her phone and goes pale. Emergency alert, all extermination units execute A-level disaster protocol. The wind outside starts howling. In the distance, birds flee from the mountains in panic. A deafening boom erupts and the ground begins to shake. A massive red creature bursts up from beneath the earth. From the crater, crimson light flares into the sky. A sharp screech echoes everywhere. The entire area around Joey's team starts trembling violently. Zhongza's voice shakes. What is happening? Lin's phone blares again. A-level disaster protocol, repeated over and over. She locks in instantly and orders Vice Captain Irene to organize patrols and evacuate civilians. After that, she shoots a sharp look at the two of them. Joey steps forward, eyes steady, saying in times like this, every fighter counts, just give the order. Irene clenches her fist beside Zhongju, saying Shezin too. Lin nods and leads the way. They rush into chaos, flames soaring high enough to stain the sky red. A small scout plane flies overhead, broadcasting evacuation orders nonstop. Civilians panic, shoving and sprinting toward the train station. Someone screams, stop pushing, just run forward. But the crowd suddenly freezes at a bone-chilling roar. A woman points to the sky, yelling for everyone to look. They look up and see a swarm of monsters hovering in the dark sky. One of the beasts dives down, blades swinging straight at the crowd. A man collapses instantly. Its claw slices through him without mercy. One after another, people fall under the insect's horrific jaws. A mother clutches her child and runs with everything she has. But another giant bug blocks their escape. Its eyes glow with hunger as it charges straight at them. The mother turns pale, hugging her child tighter as tears stream down in that left-or-death moment. Right then, Juyi bursts in from behind like a storm and slices the monster clean in half. The mom opens her eyes, completely stunned. In front of everyone, Juyi stands tall like a straight-up hero, aura overpowering the night lights. Then his arm ignites in blazing flames. The spear in his hand erupts with fire and pierces straight through another monster. The mother hides behind his solid back, clutching her child tight, face pale as paper, barely able to whisper a thank you. Ju-yi snaps out of his thoughts when shouting erupts behind him. Hey, you two! Aylin shows up and casually lifts two grown men off the ground. A guy with sideswept bangs squints. Aren't they Tony's lackeys from the tournament? Ju-yi frowns. Awakened fighters, yet they watched people die and pretended to be civilians just to run. Aylin grips their collars coldly. Irene, vice captain of the extermination squad, her eyes turn icy. No draft yet. You two join the reserve team. You're defending the city. The top-knot guy shakes her off and yells, I came here to make money, not risk my life? What if I get injured? The buzzcut next to him sneers, this is your squad's problem, not ours. The top-knot steps toward Ju-yi, annoyed. Ju-yi, since you love causing trouble. He smirks. Hope the monsters kill this year's so-called champion candidate. And boom, a monster's hand suddenly shoots out silk. It wraps tightly around the top-knot guy. He crashes to the ground, stuck. Aylin rushes in, slams him down harder. What exactly are you trying to do? Before he can even react, Aylin stomps on his face. Did I make myself clear? Her voice cuts like a blade. This is a draft, not a negotiation. She waves her hand. Take them away. Handle them as draft dodgers. The guy screams, no! I'm from the Olaf family! I'm not even in your squad yet! You can't do this! Ju-yi walks over, eyes sharp. Monsters are at our doorstep and you still dream of being lapdogs to the four great families. You think you deserve this squad? Aylin raises her phone, voice broadcast citywide. All combat personnel near Vermilion Gate report to the Iron Court immediately. I repeat, immediately. Soon after at Vermilion Gate, two figures stand silent. Moments later, they ride out fast, cutting through the chaotic streets. Just outside the city, a massive explosion shakes the ground. Monsters flood in like a tidal wave. Ju-yi shouts over the wind behind Aylin, no time to wait for backup. We go first. They leap off the bike Medran. Aylin grabs his hand and pulls him up the city wall in one smooth motion. The scene ahead is pure devastation, monster corpses everywhere, mixed with fallen civilians. Ju-yi clenches his fist, damn it, we're too late. He looks at the rampaging monsters below. Just the two of us, we wipe them all out. Aylin pauses. Then her eyes light up when she spots a cannon nearby. She turns to him, determined. If that cannon still works, we can hold this line. Without hesitation, she dashes off. Hold them for 2 minutes, I'll operate it. The second she disappears, a swarm of monsters charges straight at Ju-yi. He gulps. 2 minutes alone. Facing the roaring horde, his eyes harden. Fine, I'm not falling here. He leaps up, spins midair, blades slashing down like a mantis strike. Ju-yi scans the fallen monster. Suddenly his tongue extends, shooting out sticky threads like spider silk. One monster gets wrapped instantly and slammed into the ground. With precise control, Ju-yi turns his flexible tongue into a weapon, locking down every monster in sight. Then out of nowhere, a savage beetle-like beast lunges at him. The monster rushed in and slammed a brutal punch straight into Ju-yi's stomach. His hand instantly burst into blazing flames. Ju-yi drove his spear into the ground, barely stopping himself from getting blasted off the wall. He was gasping hard, drenched in sweat, roaring through pure exhaustion. But the monster didn't stop. It charged again, ready to crush him for good. Ju-yi steadied himself and finally understood why those two never dared return to the battlefield. Against these monsters, one slip means instant death. His eyes flicked toward a cold corpse nearby. The man's mangled face hit him harder than expected. Ju-yi frowned, hesitation flashing in his eyes. And right then, the monster's sharp claw came slicing down. He leaped back at the last second. Barely made it. No pause. He thrust his spear into the monster's leg with everything he had. He gritted his teeth. Running away was not an option. He bent down and ripped a chunk of flesh from the monster's body. The moment he swallowed it, the system chimed in. New trait acquired. Instantly, his hands evolved into sharp dragon claws. Standing tall among the insect horde, Ju-yi roared, "Get lost!" The monsters swarmed him, but his dragon claws sent them flying. One massive creature smashed its giant claw down. The impact boomed like thunder, smoke and dust exploding everywhere. As the smoke cleared, a strange sphere spread out from the monster's corpse. Twisted creatures crawled out from inside, flooding the ground. From one monster's tail, a mysterious substance shot out. Then boom, a terrifying explosion shook the field again. The bugs kept coming in endless waves. After the blast, Ju-yi staggered, covered in blood, badly wounded. He cursed under his breath. At this rate, this fight would never end. He lowered his voice and called out, "Vice Captain Aylin." He glanced back at the city. If this line falls, the whole city is doomed. Thinking of the civilians about to be slaughtered, Ju-yi's eyes burned with resolve. Flames ignited from his hands as he stepped up onto the wall. His body was wrapped in raging fire from the spear. The monsters, almost provoked by it, charged in even faster. Ju-yi hurled his spear into the sky. A massive fire vortex exploded like fireworks across the heavens. The monsters were burned alive, writhing in agony. Meanwhile, inside the control room, staff panicked. "City defense systems won't activate!" A burly man roared, "Why isn't the Master Crystal responding?" He slammed the table. "Restart the activation program now!" A man with glasses hurried to respond. The burly man suddenly turned. "You?" The staff whispered. "Who's that?" "The young master of the Zhong family. They built the entire defense system." Looking at bookish Zhongji, the black-clad men murmured. "No one here knows this system better than him." Zhongji calmly sat in front of the computer. Mechanical arms suddenly unfolded from his back. He and the robotic arms started working at insane speed. Then he froze, eyes locked onto the screen. He analyzed quietly. Crystal feedback normal, energy condenser normal, monitoring signals normal. His face turned pale. "If everything looks fine." His fingers trembled over the keyboard, then suddenly stopped. After digging through the data, Zhongji frowned. As expected, energy disruption, he found the problem. Someone triggered the system inspection program and forcibly cut off the crystal's energy supply. He stared at the defense grid on screen. Surveillance towers, automatic outer cannons, every layer of city firepower was completely paralyzed without the crystal's energy. The inspection and maintenance program almost never runs, yet somehow it just got activated. The men in black all turned to Jongzi, eyes sharp, who sabotaged the defense system, trying to let monsters storm Mingai City. He doesn't answer, fingers flying on the keyboard, rushing to restore the city's weapons, especially the ones near the demon immortal zone. The central crystal core starts charging up. Cannons along the wall tremble back to life. Fully loaded, they unleash hell on the monsters below. The civilians erupt in cheers. The defense system is back, finally. Jong Joy stays locked on the screen, typing nonstop. Good thing the extermination squad drilled for full city disasters. Seeing the injured getting treated, he finally exhales. On the ground, the church members help evacuate civilians and heal the wounded. A man in black keeps order. Even the intelligence bureau holds things together in the underground shelters. Another black-clad commander directs the crowd. The corridors are packed. Everyone else moved to the rear. Armed troops finally march out. They originally planned to let the extermination squad fight alone.
Yeah, dirty move.
Watching monsters flood in like a tidal wave, Jongju feels the pressure. The whole city could fall any second. Anger rises. If the army moves sooner, the damage would be this bad. He sees two power figures shaking hands on screen. Now is not the time to lose focus. Even with the system restored, the city's firepower isn't fully stable. It's barely holding the line. He clenches his fists. The wall cannot fail. The flames still burn bright. But if the wall falls, it's game over. On the battlefield, Zhongyi is gasping, body covered in wounds, staring at the incoming monsters. He grits his teeth. Damn it. Fury explodes. That last flame burst was insane. No way he can use it again so soon. He roars in frustration. Still not enough. Suddenly, a giant centipede opens its fanged mouth. It lunges, trying to swallow Zhou whole. Zhou bites down, flames igniting across his body. With everything he's got, he drives his flaming spear straight through its head. He lands eyes cold, scanning the battlefield. He glances at the cannon, dragging his battered body forward, annoyed. They said 2 minutes. Then another 2. It's been almost 10. Too pissed to notice another centipede sneaking up behind him. He mutters seriously, still not done. The monster charges at lightning speed. Zhou senses it instantly. His eyes turn razor sharp. The beast twists midair. It's aiming for the cannon. Smart move. Zhou's hearts. He leaps without hesitation, landing on the monster's head. His spear erupts in blazing fire. Full power, he stabs straight down. The centipede drops on the spot. But before he can breathe, another monster rushes in. Too fast. Has out of time. A cannon fires. The shell tears through the air and blows the monster's head clean off. Zhou looks back at the cannon. Wait, it's working. Aelin crawls out from inside it, face covered in soot but grinning. Took a bit longer, but the crystal energy supply is restored. One can after another locks on. Heavy fire rains down, shredding the monsters. Rapid footsteps echo. Dozens of armored soldiers arrive with guns ready. Yawns. Aelin steps forward and commands firmly. The wall defenses will recover soon. Until then, hold the line no matter what. The soldiers spread out across the wall, blocking the swarm of bugs climbing up. The insect monsters swarm in like a tidal wave. Black sludge shoots out from their tails. The soldiers see it coming and start shouting in sync. Rifles up, they drop bugs one by one. But there are just too many. One soldier gets jumped, bitten in the neck, and drops instantly. The line slowly collapses under the pressure. A man with a gun screams for everyone to get up. And right then, a bug lunges at him. It sinks its fangs straight into his body. He lets out a scream of pure agony. Soon the soldiers are overwhelmed, bullets flying nonstop, but the swarm keeps pushing. Painful screams mix with the insect's savage growls. Someone cries out in panic, just die already. Save me. Zhou stands there, body blazing with flames. He throws out brutal strikes, smashing every bug that dares rush him. Breathing hard, sweat pouring, he aims his flaming spear at another one. He turns and rasts, you good, I'll hold this line. Fall back. No answer. He looks back and sees a nightmare. Not a single survivor. His anger spikes instant. Deep down, he curses, damn it. Watching more monsters fly in, he roars, you're dead. Zhou unleashes a massive wall of fire, flames exploding across the battlement. Burned to ash. Suddenly a signal flare lights up. A door appears out of nowhere, steaming with scorching heat. Zhou turns, eyes locking onto a massive cannon. Near where Aelin stands, a shadow flickers into view. Through the smoke, she mutters in a low voice, Vice Captain Aelin. Inside the control room, men in black rush to operate, sweat dripping as the cannons finish locking on. The Guardian Squad's Grand Cannon completes its charge. The monster horde keeps pouring in. Aelin doesn't hesitate, she gives the order, fire. In an instant, beams from the Grand Cannon rip through the air. They slam straight into the swarm. A heaven-shaking explosion erupts. Every monster hit gets blown to pieces. The shockwave flattens the rest, not a single bug survives. Zhou stands atop the wall. His eyes scan carefully, his tense face easing just a bit. The screams slowly fade into the smoke. As the ground below is empty, no monsters left. Zhou grips his spear and sweeps his gaze around. Looking down at the ruins, he calmly tells Aelin, almost all are dead. The rest ran. She answers in a low voice, the Guardian's Grand Cannon is insanely powerful. That's why we could fire. Aelin hesitates, voice heavy. Normally before an Manhwa Abyss invades, we detect abnormal energy waves days in advance. Zhou silently watches her as she clenches her fists. Her body trembles. But this time there was zero warning. He steps closer, eyes softening. He places a hand on her shoulder. Staring at the devastation, Zhou says gently, this isn't your fault. Aelin nods faintly, no, I know. She wipes her tears, voice shaking, it just feels awful. Suddenly a terrifying noise explodes. Both of them jolt on the wall. The ground starts shaking violently. Something pierces up from deep underground. A gigantic tentacle rises and wraps around the wall. More savage tendrils lash out toward the cannons. Joey grits his teeth. This is bad. One brutal slam and the Grand Cannon is crushed. The monstrous force blasts Joey off the wall. He stares down in shock. Aylin slips too, falling into the rubble. In that critical second, Joey transforms, one arm stretching insanely long. His massive hand grabs Aylin mid-fall. The other hand grips the edge of the wall. The two of them hang suspended in midair. Aylin's face turns pale as she screams up at him. All the cannons were destroyed in seconds. Joey looks ahead in disbelief. What is that thing? As the colossal monster rises from underground, he roars, what the hell is that? The creature crawls onto the wall and lets out a roar that shakes the air. Joey and Aylin shout together, we can't let it destroy the wall. He kicks off and dashes forward at insane speed. Together with Aylin, they launch a combined attack at its head. Their twin strikes merge, two sharp waves of power piercing straight into the monster's skull. But its head hard as steel. The hit did absolutely nothing. Joey froze, whispering, not even a reaction. He instantly leapt off the monster and poured all his strength into the spear. If the body's tougher than a tank, then fine, aim for the eye. A sharp splash. Joey drove the spear straight into its eye, still not a single scratch. His face went pale. What the hell? The monster suddenly curled up and dove down. Its razor teeth clamped onto Than. One brutal bite, a huge chunk gone, then it shot back into the sky. Joey and Aylin were blasted upward by flying debris. He gritted his teeth. Damn it. Aylin's voice shook. At this rate, Than's gonna collapse. Standing beneath the beast, they both realized something. The monster opened its mouth wide and charged the wall again. Suddenly, an angry glare flashed in the dark. Then a massive bludgered hammer appeared. It slammed into the monster's head and shook it to the core. Joey and Aylin looked up in shock. A familiar silhouette stepped out of the smoke. They shouted at the same time. Lang Xiao, captain of the extermination squad. Xia Lang Xiao, leader of Squad 1, walked out like a boss. Joey blinked in disbelief. That skinny uncle is Captain Xia. Aylin beamed as my captain, strongest squad leader, second only to Commander Corey. She explained his ability. He controls blood to fight. Constant battles left him chronically anemic. Drops of blood flowed out of Lang Xiao's body. They formed blazing crimson fists in midair. Aylin warned seriously, don't let his weak look fool you. The blood fists rained down like a storm. The monster howled in agony. Joey was completely stunned by that power. The monster whimpered weakly, then suddenly regenerated and lashed out giant tentacles at Lang Xiao. The tentacles stabbed down like blades, attacking nonstop like a destruction machine. Yi jumped up. He gasped. One strike could level the entire wall. Aylin stayed calm, relax. The monster slammed down two massive tentacles. Lang Xiao stood beneath them, calmly blocking with a thin spear, not even sweating. This level, not enough for a captain. With a quick twist of two fingers, a giant blood hammer formed and blasted the monster's head off. The hammer dissolved instantly, then reshaped into a glowing blood shackle. It locked onto the monster's head and crushed it to the ground. The monster struggled wild. Lang Xiao bit his hand, fresh blood spilled out. His deep voice echoed, souls buried here for eternity. Your fear, your rage, your unwillingness, I know it all. Blood from nearby corpses gathered together. A massive blood sword ignited in his hand like hellfire. Cold and steady, he declared, I'll use your remaining blood to end this beast. The monster broke free from the shackle, but Lang Xiao leapt up and brought the sword down. A crimson slash tore across the sky. Joey stood outside, drenched in sweat, heart pounding. The monster's body split cleanly in two beneath Lang Xiao's blade. Blood gushed out, merging with the dark red rain pouring from above. Joey muttered in awe. That pressure, so this is Squad 1's captain. Under the blood rain, Lang Xiao covered his mouth and coughed lightly, then glanced at Aylin, eyes still sharp. Beneath the pale moonlight he spoke proudly. As expected of my squad, no one faltered. Their blood still carries fighting spirit. Aylin frowned at the blood dripping from his hand. Captain, you should stop the bleeding. Lang Xiao looked down, slightly surprised, still hyped from the fight. He muttered while searching his pockets. Hey, where's my bandage? Aylin calmly handed one over. Here, I brought it. He wrapped his wound and said firmly, when we defeat the Abyss Lord, I'll personally avenge them. Zhongyi stayed silent, eyes turning cold. He reminded himself not to get cocky. Even after rebirth, he's still miles away from captain-level awakeners. Suddenly, a strange sound tore through the night behind him. He looked up and froze. Dozens of aircraft were gliding overhead. Rescue pods dropped all at once. Trails of orange light streaked down like shooting stars. One massive machine landed right in front of him, dust blasting everywhere. A voice echoed from inside the mech. Leave this to Zhong family tech. Every defense in Minghai was built by us. Before sunrise, this wall will be battle-ready again. Joey couldn't hide it, that's insane. Under the cold blue lights, he watched countless robots working in sync. Compared to this black tech setup, his old base was basically the Stone Age. No wonder everyone wants to move to Minghai. Captain Xia Lang Xiao suddenly spoke. Zhongyi, the commander wants you and Aylin at the Supreme Council. Zhongzhou, you're coming too. Zhongyi hesitated. Captain, the wall won't be fixed that fast if we all leave in monsters. Lang Xiao cut him off with a grin. I'm here. One more or less doesn't matter. I'm hoping they show up. Joey nodded, understood. Scene shift. They arrived at the grand meeting hall inside Minghai's Parliament Tower. Giant screens glowed cold blue across the walls. Juyi, Zhongzhu, and A-Lin stood at attention. A-Lin stepped forward. Vice Captain A-Lin of Squad 1 reporting. Captain Xia Langxiao arrived in time and eliminated the colossal beast. Zhongtek is restoring the collapsed wall section. She paused, scanning the room sharply before continuing. Zhong Shidi, CEO of Zhongtek and head of the Zhong family, spoke with authority. This Abyss breach happened because someone sabotaged the core energy supply. All 3 defense systems failed to activate. A-Lin added firmly. Once power is restored, Minghai will be absolutely secure. I request a full investigation immediately. Bai Genting, head of the Bai family and Minister of Intelligence, frowned slightly. We'll begin the investigation at once. But there's something more urgent. A sharp voice cut in, clearly annoyed. Can't blame us, so now you're downplaying it. Tai A, leader of the Superpower Church and head of the Yu family, stepped in smoothly. Alright, the priority is the sudden rank Abyss. She turned to the connected screen. Commander Corey, when can the Abyss subjugation team depart? Corey stood straight. Elite extermination forces and family units are assembled. But right before this meeting, we received an emergency alert. The LED screen lit up. Chaos! A tentacled monster crushing a truck! A desperate voice screamed. Help! Research Institute 12 is under attack! Before he could finish, another monster lunged at him. Institute 12 is being overrun. Zhong Yi frowned. Institute 12. Zhong Shidi replied seriously. It's the Zhong family's highest classified research facility. Zhongjia's sister is in charge there. Even I don't know what they're researching. Zhongjia's face stiffened. His sister, what exactly is happening? A place that important, and it's not even inside Minhai City. A-Lin calmly drops the bomb. Research Institute Nope 12 was supposed to be built in the city. But the council claimed the frontline tech was unsafe, rejected the plan, and forced them to move it outside the walls. Zhou Yi nods instantly.
Yeah, that wasn't an accident.
He rushes forward, anxiety kicking in. Did they evacuate? Where is she? Is she safe? Koade answers steady but firm. No warning came. Most of the researchers are trapped. He plans to delay the Deep Abyss raid and send Ling Xiao to rescue them first. Taya steps in, cold and decisive. She opposes it. She warns that the supernatural energy in the Abyss is rising fast. If they don't kill the Lord now, things spiral out of control. Koate makes the call. Team 2's Captain Pharaoh handles rescue. The main raid proceeds as planned. Bai Genting shuts it down immediately. The raid team lacks the minimum 10 level awakened for an rank Abyss. First strike must kill the Lord. No captain level fighter can be spared. CC explodes in frustration. You built Institute 12 outside the city, and now you're just leaving them to die. Roz calmly reminds everyone killing the Abyss Lord is the priority. 1 second late means more danger for Minhai. Then Rotor Olaf, council chairman and army leader, orders Koathe to proceed as planned. Inside, Olaf smirks. You refused to join the Olaf family before, now you want my support? Koathe sees through him. All that righteousness is fake. He just wants them weakened. Even now, it's politics. Joey speaks up, voice sharp. So you're not planning to save them at all? That line hits hard. No one dares. Zhou Nian steps forward. Fine, go. The roar of engines fills the rooftop. Helicopter blades tear through the silent night sky. Suddenly, a black vortex opens, flashing with red-black lightning. Bolts of lightning pour out like a storm unleashed. Inside the helicopter cab, shadows move. A-Lin tells Zhou Yi she's joining the raid. The entire extermination squad must enter the Abyss, so he'll have to lead the rescue team himself. Zhou Yi folds his arms, listening quietly. They can't support him any further. He recalls the video call with Vio. Wu Zi had said the Supreme Defense Council rejected the rescue. All extermination members must join the Abyss raid. Zhou Yi replied calmly, sorry, I'm not officially part of your squad. I'm gonna save Institute 12. You can't stop me. Zhong Nian thinks it through. The captain already defied the chairman and gave them transport to avoid ground monsters. That's help enough. He glances at Zhongzhu. His entire support team volunteered too. Zhongzhu's worried eyes say it all. He's scared for his sister. Zhou Yi looks at Tu Ding and Fa Kun, the guys who doubted him before. Then at Lu Jiao, calm as ever. Training in the Abyss together built trust. He clenches his fist. This mission isn't like defending Minhai. The danger level, unknown. Tu Ding grins wide. Following you into battle. Best decision ever. Lu Jiao smiles softly. You saved my life once, I still owe you for that. Once everyone's assembled, Zhong Nian shouts, we're almost at the drop point. Rescue team, get ready. He clenches his fist, fired up. Thanks for trusting me. No more talk. Rescue team, move out. The moment the aircraft lands, voices echo from inside. The cabin door slowly slides open. Zhou Yi sits by the window, glancing back quietly. Then a voice beside him speaks up. Zhong Jie, in the driver's seat, says softly, benefactor. He hesitates. Before we left, my dad said no matter what happens, he only regrets not being strong enough to save my sister himself. He looks at Zhou Yi, eyes full of trust. You helped us twice during the nascent soul crisis. The Zhong family will never forget that. Zhou Yi rests his arm out the window, deep in thought. The trapped survivors are waiting for someone. I know that feeling. If I can save them and done, I won't forgive myself. He chuckles lightly. And stop calling me benefactor. People will think I'm some old guy. I'm barely older than you. Just call me brother. Smoke rolls into the night sky. Fires flicker everywhere. The vehicle drives straight into the burning city. Zhou Yi jumps out with the team, frustrated. The monster assault here is just as bad as Minhai. We're late. Suddenly, a scream cuts through the ruins. A weak hand reaches out from the rubble. Zhou Yi dashes over instantly. A man crawls out barely alive. He struggles to raise his hand, face pale. Zhongzhu rushes in to help. Hang on, I've got you. But Zhong Nian senses something off and shouts. Zhong, watch out! A water-type monster bursts out and wraps around him in seconds. Its eyes glow with hunger. Zhongzhu panics. We're screwed. It was lying in wait. The creature tightens its grip. The man, parasitized by the monster, trembles. Kill me. Zhongji sees his hand corroding and freaks out. It's bait! Right then, a flash slices through the air. Zhou appears and chops off the monster's arm in one strike, but it regenerates instantly. The severed limb reconnects and clamps back onto Zhongju. Zhou's eyes burn with anger. The system analyzes it Goliath fluid form. Its body is made entirely of fluid. Physical cuts are useless. Zhongnian yells, physical attacks don't work. Destroy the crystal near its shoulder. Zhongju grits his teeth. Damn it, I can't see the weak point. He channels power into his free hand. Fine, then it'll just freeze you solid. He braces one foot against the monster and drives his fist forward. The water creature splits clean in half. It shatters into pieces, and soon the night sky clears, moonlight visible again. Zhongju kneels by the frozen corpse of the man. I saw him at last week's meeting, now has gone. Zhongnian lowers his gaze back at the outpost. The food search teams never returned full. This is the dark side. Lu Jiao calls out Captain. Holding a glowing detection device, she reports no trap survivors detected, no radio response either. Is anyone even alive here? Zhongju's eyes fill with tears. He turns and shouts through the pain. The main research facility is underground. The defense systems down there can hold off the monsters. Staring at the ruined building, he clenches his fists. My sister's team has to be trapped somewhere below. Suddenly, a massive ice pillar erupts from the ground. The entire team jumps in shock. More water monsters surge forward with reinforcements. Zhongju's face turns pale. He charged the sea monster without hesitation. Zhongnian poured everything into one all-out strike. And just like that, his metal arm started melting. The sea monster revealed 3 heads and lunged at the Zhou Yi group. Its body swelled up, completely swallowing the team. Lu Dao raised her staff and dropped a bolt of lightning. One of the monster's heads instantly locked onto her. Its body coiled tight, trapping Lu Dao's squad. Kuntu glanced back and froze as red tendrils surrounded them. The creature tightened its grip, staring at them like prey on the menu. Zhongyi activated his battle armor and fought back hard, but it did nothing. The 3 of them were dragged backward by those red cords. Zhongji lay in the middle of the swarm, shaking. He bit his lip, almost in tears. Sis? Suddenly, a loud voice echoed, Aja, can you hear me? Aja! His phone rang in his pocket. Can you hear me? Aja! Zhongji recognized the voice instantly. He grabbed the phone, excited. Sis, is that you? On the screen, Zhongnian was surrounded by sea monsters. From the control room, a calm voice began giving orders. Zhongji cut off the monsters' tails first. The 4 in Zhongyi's team were still tightly surrounded. Zhongyi glanced at his smoking arm, eyes sharp. Zhongji dashed in like a gust of wind, stopping outside the encirclement. He shouted, everyone follow me. From the other end, Zhongji's voice came through the comms. Turn right. Go to the blind spot I marked, left at the intersection. Climb over. The sea monster roared and chased after them like a maniac. Seeing a door ahead, Zhongdi yelled, that's the one. From inside she urged, hurry, get now. The moment the monster arrived, Zhongdai ordered the door shut. The beast slammed into it wildly but couldn't break through. It could only rage outside, circling the base. Inside, Zhongyi's group collapsed, panting after barely escaping. On the big screen, Zhongdi appeared. Seeing them safe, she smiled brightly. Zhongji shouted, Sister Zhongdi! I thought we were too late! Zhongdi's eyes sparkled. Aja, we did it. I created a crystal that can keep evolving. Zhongyi raised a hand, cutting them off. Sorry, but what exactly is happening here? Zhongdi adjusted her glasses. Sorry, I got emotional seeing my brother. After the Abyss invasion, we were surrounded before we could evacuate. Her fingers flew across the keyboard. The screen showed the sea monsters. The moment they left the Abyss, they rushed here. They're desperate to get underground. She pointed at a specimen in a test tube. Look at this. I believe these monsters were summoned by it. Lu Jiao stared in shock. You're researching live monsters here. Zhongdi replied calmly, Awakeners rely on monster crystals to grow stronger. But if your level surpasses the crystal, you can't use its full power. She continued evenly, Goliath-type bodies devour each other. The weak feed the strong. We use that trait. A crystal gleamed in her hand. We created one that grows alongside the user's cultivation. Zhongji's eyes lit up. Does it really work? Zhongdi smiled from the control room. Yes, from now on, everyone can use a crystal that unlocks their full power. The downside. No more quick power jumps from higher-tier monster cores. Zhongyi suddenly spoke, voice tense. Hold on. He took a breath. I should say congratulations. But right now, we can't clear every monster from the entrance to rescue those trapped underground. Is there a way to support you? Zhongdi frowned. Forget about us. She pressed a key, showing the outside view. This place is beyond saving. It'll guide you to the internal data vault. Take the research files with you. Zhongji panicked. Sis, what are you saying? You want me to just watch you die? Zhongdi steadies everyone, voice firm. Even if we die, crystal core tech matters more than anyone here. A cold voice cuts in sharp and final. I refuse. Zhongyi clenches his fists, steps to the screen. If you've got no better plan, you'll break in alone. Zhongdai goes silent, eyes deep in thought. Then she projects a subway map. Combat serious, there's one more way. Each underground level has supply transport lines, still sealed. Not wrecked by monsters yet. We use that to escape. She switches screens, analyzing fast, but the underground control center has fallen. Power to the line is cut. First step, restore electricity at the underground power station. Another image pops up, a massive gate. She warns them, we also need to open the gate to Minghai City. But once it opens, the noise will draw every monster outside. Whoever opens it is basically dead. Zhongdi immediately objects, that's too dangerous. She cracks her knuckles, gives a fearless smile. We move together. Head to the train now. He steps forward, laughing. Alright then, you guys restore power. I'll handle the gate. Deal. Scene shifts to the power station. Buzzcut guy just freezes at the chaos. He blurts out, what the hell happened here? Zhongxi walks up calmly. You two wait for my signal. See anything light up, press it. They answer together. Got it. Zhongxi reaches the console, extends his robotic arm, cables plug straight into the panel. He speaks into the headset, I'm in the system. Power restarts in 600 seconds. Then he asks, worried, Zhongyi, how's it going on your side? Zhongyi and Lu Dao move toward the white gate. The massive gate comes into view. Zhongyi reports, we see the white gate. We'll make it before power's back. Hearing that, Zhongxi rushes. Once power's on, you've got 30 seconds to start the gate. If not, when the train arrives, it won't open wide enough. His voice tightens, move fast. Uncle D hugs a crate and runs out, shouting, all the research in here goes too. He turns back urgently, copy the experiment footage from last time as well. Someone reports to Zhongdi, director, all wounded are on the train. She immediately replies over comms, we're ready on this side too. Her order is absolute, everyone board now. Leave any documents behind. Footsteps thunder, only a few people left. Zhongdi snaps, hurry up. Over here, Zhongxi asks anxiously, 10 seconds left. Is everyone in position? Zhongyi answers calmly, white gate is aligned, ready. Zhongdi follows up, the train is in position. Getting both signals, Zhongxi slams the switch, countdown hits 3, 2, 1, power on. Lights flicker across the station. The train engine roars back to life. Electricity floods the entire underground complex. Zhongdi's eyes light up, the subway power is restored. Suddenly, an injured young man looks out the window. He spots dark shapes outside. Water monsters charge straight at the train. He screamed, they're here! Zhongdi commands instantly, hold tight. She slams the red button. The train shrieks and launches forward.
Speeds up.
But the water monsters cling on like parasites. A piercing sound echoes deep in the tunnel. The train carrying everyone bursts toward the exit. The monsters chase relentlessly. Everywhere they pass gets corroded. He Zhong by the window panics, drive faster! Seeing them closing in, he yells, they're almost on us! Zhongdi answers helplessly, we're already at max speed. One water monster opens its fanged mouth and lunges. Then boom, a massive explosion shakes everything. He Zhong looks out and sees side cannons blasting the monsters nonstop. Through the smoke, he recognizes Zhong, manning the defense artillery. Everyone on the train exhales, safe at last. But suddenly, the control panel flashes red. Error, no gate opening signal detected. Zhongdi feels a chill, what happened at the white gate? The gate suddenly jerks to a halt. He Zhong cries out, we're screwed, the white gate's jammed. Zhou face tightens. If that gate doesn't open, the whole plan is done. The revised plan is already in motion. Zhongxia panics at her move, shouting, sis, what are you doing? Zhongdai turns back, voice sharp but steady, you're still a kid. Just control the train and get everyone home. And then she jumps off the train, ignoring his desperate scream. Zhongdi sprints to the lowest level, muttering, only way now is to open the deepest floor and lure the monster lord down there. On the other side, Lu Jiao and Zhongyi stare at the motionless gate. Zhongyi frowns, the gate's malfunctioning. Rewind to just before Zhongdi jumped. Seeing the train rush in, Zhongxi signals the two beside him, it's here. The three brace themselves, ready to leap onto the roof. Zhongxi dives into the control cabin. Almost in tears, he shouts, sis! He hugs Zhongdi, choking up, you made it out. Thank God. She bonks his head, stop messing around. The gate's still not open. Back to the gate. Zhongdi checks the mechanism again. Then she freezes, the hydraulic system's dead. Hearing that, Zhongxi suggests helplessly, we're out of time. If it fails, abandon the train. No! She scans outside, monsters everywhere. If we leave the train, we're dead. The train is our only way back to the city. Meanwhile, Zhongyi pours all his strength into pushing the gate before the train arrives. He transforms, activating the giant serpent arm. Muscles bulge as he forces the gate forward. Watching this, Zhongdi orders through comms, let him push it open. Uncle D is stunned, push it. That gate needs 4 10,000-ton hydraulics. Human strength won't cut it. Zhongyi hears that and falters for a second. Even with the serpent arm boost, the gate doesn't budge. He refuses to quit, activates his final form. Armor wraps around him like a living machine. He triggers the adhesive bullet system. 4 sticky threads shoot forward. First he uses their pulling force. Then he activates Venom Tail Spike. Sharp claws pierce the floor. He locks his legs in place like anchors. Finally, muscle overdrive kicks in. His whole body tightens to the limit. Every ounce of strength goes into that push. System alarms scream, muscle fibers tearing and regenerating nonstop. Lu Dao watches. With compressed muscle output, his power hits maximum. Blood drips from his mouth, but he yells, move! The gate trembles, tiny crack appears. Lu Dao shouts, it's opening! Everyone on the train is stunned. Zhongdi can't believe it, this crazy plan might actually work. Zhou Yi's eyes blaze, give me 3 minutes. No 2 is enough? Then something slimy drops behind him. A water monster lunges and coils around his body. He growls, seriously, now of all times. His hands can't leave the gate. He has no spare move to fight back. Zhongji can only shout through comms, Nuff, can you hold on? Then he notices Zhongdai has already suited up in battle armor. At the same time, Lu Dao unleashes blinding lightning. The bolts pierce the monsters. They shriek as their bodies burn. She scans the field, more monsters rushing in, way too many. Zhongyi still holds the gate, but slime starts wrapping around him. From behind, Zhongdi yells, Zhongyi, we have to release their overlord to drag them back underground. Hold that gate until the train arrives! Zhouyi freezes as a water monster pops up right in front of his face. No warning, it lunges straight for his head. On the other side, Zhongxi drives the train at full speed. Buzzcut suddenly points out, young Master Zhong, look! He sees the narrow gap and shouts, we see the gate! It's too tight! We won't make it through! Zhongji grows restless, eyes locked on the panel, we're at half speed. Slow down more and we won't make it. Suddenly, strange noises echo from the roof. Everyone inside freezes. Uncle D looks up and screams, "They're on top!" The water monsters snarl on the roof, trying to break in. Sweat drips down Jongche's face, no choice left. Fine, we accelerate. He slams the red button. The train surges forward, speed spikes. The monsters get flung off the roof. Buzzcut rushes to the window, face pressed to the glass. After a moment he exhales, nothing on the sides. He mutters, "Guess we shook them off." Then slimy tentacles shoot out from the dark. A monster bursts inside the cabin. Buzzcut turns too late. The tentacle wraps tight around him. The water monster starts swallowing him whole. His scream tears through the cabin. People turn in panic as it crawls closer. They shout in terror, "We're dead. We're all dead." Only Uncle D stands still behind them. He stares at the monster, eyes calm. After a second, he equips his battle armor. Zhongxi yells, "Uncle D!" Uncle D looks at him. His eyes are warm, full of faith. "You kids are the future." He charges the monster. "Let us old men be useful one last time."
Zhongxi screams.
Uncle D grabs the monster and locks it in a bear hug. He activates the thrusters in his legs, dragging it away from the crowd. Once clear, he triggers self-destruct. A massive explosion shakes the entire tunnel. Zhongxi bites back tears. He slams the console, "Damn it!" Lu Dao and Zhongyi are still holding off the swarm. A piercing screech erupts from the main building. Buzzcut and Zhongxi cover their ears. Buzzcut stares. What is happening? He watches in shock. Every monster suddenly rushes toward the building. Inside the train, Zhongxi tries pulling the brake. It's jammed. Ignore outside. The brake system's stuck. We can't slow down. Buzzcut panics. Jump off. Zhongxi snaps back. At this speed, that's suicide. We might survive, but what about everyone else? They're counting on us? A voice pleads over comms. "Captain, everyone's life is in your hands." On the other side, Joey's body trembles. He can barely hold the gate. "The train is almost there." Everyone shouts, "Hurry!" Joey roars with everything left. "I told you the gate to me!" At that exact moment, he leaps aside, letting the train blast through safely. Zhongji and Buzzcut tear up, cheering. They made it. Lu Dao is still airborne. She lands lightly on the train. Seeing Shiz alone, Zhongzhou leans out the window. "Where's Zhongyi?" Zhongyi stays behind. "Take everyone back to the city." His eyes burn with resolve. "I will bring your sister back." He stands there, watching the train vanish into the dark, deep underground at the lowest lab level. Zhongdi secretly records the water monsters. Looks like all the Goliath variants were drawn here. The Overlord. Its red eyes scan the swarm. Suddenly the monsters turn feral. They scream and charge at the Overlord. Zhongda gasps, "What? They're attacking it." But their attacks do nothing. Instead, the Overlord absorbs them effortlessly. Zhongdi adjusts her glasses, so that's it. After watching closely, she realizes the truth. They weren't willingly offering themselves. The Overlord lured them in. The water monsters even start devouring each other. The monsters fuse together, forming a giant beast that roars at the Overlord. Zhongdi mutters, after devouring their own kind, they want to challenge it. The giant monster spreads its claws. One slash splits the Overlord in half. The Overlord doesn't even resist. Zhongdi gasps, their self-rescue might actually work. Tentacles spill out from the split body and wrap the giant monster tight. The Overlord slowly devours it with overwhelming force. After absorbing enough, it begins to evolve. A blinding light erupts. Zhongdi shields her eyes. When the light fades, she peeks through her fingers. A complete Goliath stands before her. Zhongdi freezes as its gaze locks onto her. Eerie blue glow. She keeps recording. This is a new evolution stage of the Goliath strain documented by Zhongdi of Institute 12. I hope someone finds this footage. She grips the controller tighter. Two floating guns rise from the ground and aim at Goliath. Green smoke blasts out as she calculates her next move. The smoke surrounds Goliath. Water-like erosion marks appear on its legs. Goliath looks confused for the first time. Tries to escape, even as one leg gets severed. But the leg regenerates midair. It lands perfectly fine. Zhongdai rubs her eye. Before she recovers, 3 freezing beams fire from above. They pin Goliath's shoulder, turning it into crystal. Goliath touches it and mutters, so humans use this kind of energy. It crushes the crystal like glass. Zhongdi feels a chill. Even freezing doesn't work. She fires more freezing beam. Goliath doesn't die. It lets the beams pierce through its body. Then the beams dissolve completely. Zhongdi whispers, incredible, a new evolution. It adapts to attacks and develops resistance. Goliath stares at her with terrifying pressure. Its arm suddenly stretches toward her. Zhongdi rolls to dodge but too slow. The massive arm grabs her and lifts her up. It growls, so you're the human who imprisoned me. She winces in pain as it continues coldly. After devouring so many humans, I wonder what you'll taste like. It leans close and smiles darkly. I want to try. Its body expands and coils around her. She looks completely hopeless. Then a golden flash pierces through Goliath and shatters its structure. Goliath spins around in shock. Zhongyi rushes in and pulls Zhongdai free. He walks forward like a war god. Zhongdi snaps, are you stupid? She glares at him. I could have sacrificed myself. Now we both die. Zhouyi shouts back, I hate plans where one person dies for everyone. I got stronger so that wouldn't happen again. Zhongdi scoffs, so just a reckless fool with a hero complex. Goliath watches silently. Finally, it explodes with rage. Enough of this. Hearing that, Zhouyi turns. He studies it, so that's the boss. Why is it so small now? Where's the swarm? Zhongdi answers coldly, it absorbed them all. Goliath glares at her. Woman, you are the leader here. Its voice drips with hatred. You buried me underground and tortured me day and night. Painful memories surface. A voice echoes, new signal detected. Run the experiment again. Goliath roars, even my pleas were your entertainment. Its eyes burn, now you will taste that pain. Zhongyi's gaze sharpens, it's time to act. He glances at Zhongdai, voice low, your research methods were kind of brutal, huh? Zhongdi answers seriously, there's a demonic crystal inside it. It can evolve endlessly. Suddenly Zhongyi smirked. Fine. Good job, your monsters turned the world into an apocalypse. So what if humans study you back? Goliath roars, so all humans deserve to die. It charges, mutated arm stretching straight at Zhongyi. He grits his teeth and blocks the terrifying punch. But Goliath moves like lightning and crushes him instantly. It squeezes tight, he can't move. Then it lifts him high and hurls him away. Zhongyi slams into a wall, blood at the corner of his mouth. Before he can recover, Goliath raises one massive, ready to stomp him flat. The strike drops him from heaven to hell. Thick smoke explodes everywhere. Zhongyi, scream, Zhongyi! Goliath steps out of the dust calmly, waiting. When the smoke clears, Zhongyi is still standing, breathing hard. He mutters, small body, insane strength. The system echoes in his mind, this is a compressed form. After devouring its kind, Goliath absorbed all their power. Zhongyi narrows his eyes. A glowing core pulses in Goliath's chest, that's the weak point. He charges like a storm, gripping the mantis scythe blade. If that's it, I'm not scared. Goliath raises both arms to block. Zhongyi can't reach the core, his completely suppressed. Warning flashes. Goliath can evolve continuously and adapt to enemy attacks. Zhongyi curses, would been nice to know earlier. Suspended midair, his arms are crushed in Goliath's grip. Goliath smiles. Zhongyi lowers his head, teeth clenched. Then his eyes snap open, burning with resolve. He breaks free with brute force. Goliath stares. Zhongyi's eyes turn pale white. System update. Corrosion trait upgraded via mantis scythe and corrosive mucus. A flaming blade extends from his foot. System continues. Molten flame trait upgraded via mantis scythe and fusion fire. He kicks. A blazing arc slices through the air. Goliath staggers back in pain. Furious, it throws another crushing punch. Zhongyi doesn't flinch. He meets it head on. Fists collide. The ground shatters. Dust blasts outward. Zhongyi shields her face. System alert, venom armor trait activated. Tail spikes inject paralytic toxin. The toxin slithers through Goliath's body like hidden snakes. It collapses, slamming hard into the stone floor. Zhongyi watches in shock. I knew he had rare transformation abilities, but his whole body is becoming a monster. Zhongyi steps forward, spear blazing with fire. Goliath lies there, twisted in pain as the spear descends. Red flames light up the lap. But suddenly he stops. The spear can't pierce its body. Goliath, you're out of chances. Zhongyi frowns. It evolved again, already resistant to molten flame. 3 arrows suddenly cut through the air. Goliath stiffens. Eternius, hand gripping the embedded arrows. Zhongyi stands tall, calm voice. Zhongyi, let me help. He blinks. Goliath swings its massive arm and charges. Zhongyi eyes blazing. Move! She leaps high, bow drawn tight. Each arrow pierces Goliath, draining its energy. Goliath thrashes in it. Rage burns in its eyes, then shock. Zhongyi flashes behind it and slices across its arm. Goliath's face pales, breathing unstable. Zhongyi lands beside him, calm, simultaneous. Different abilities can damage it. The two stand side by side, watching every move carefully. Its arms slowly dissolved. It roared in frustration, saying humans rely on stolen divine power. Then boom, a brand new arm grew out from the cut, and it mocked them for that very weakness. Zhongyi's face turned pale. She muttered, oh no, this is bad. Goliath's aura exploded. She realized its deadliest move was a mid-frequency shockwave that neutralized magic crystals. Zhongyi instantly drew her bow. If it uses that skill, we're done. We only get one shot. Zhongyi froze. Wait, what? They both rushed in and slashed at Goliath. Their attacks passed straight through its body. Zhongyi frowned as Goliath stood there completely unharmed. Goliath swung its arm, releasing waves that shot toward them. The two barely dodged in time. Suddenly, Zhongyi's bow started vibrating violently. And then it cracked apart. Her eyes widened, a hint of despair flashed across her face. Goliath laughed. Without magic cores, humans are just bugs, easy to crush. Zhongyi dropped to his knees. It's too late. Zhongyi's heart sank. Its power was on a whole different level from awakened humans. Goliath stepped forward slowly, arrogant as ever. That look of despair suits you. It licked its lips, eyes full of mockery. I'll slowly absorb you into me. It grinned wickedly. Make sure you scream when the time comes. And then a punch blasted in like thunder. Goliath's head snapped to the side. The impact echoed across the field. The sheer force slammed it into the ground, face twisted in pain. Goliath's eyes burned with rage. It struggled up, shouting, impossible, why are you unaffected? Zhongyi stood calmly, rolling his wrist. You've talked too much. He crushed something in his hand and gave an order. A glowing object shot toward Goliath. Zhongyi was stunned. Zhongyi, you can use your power without crystal stones. In the middle of the courtyard, 3 figures faced off. Goliath roared, filthy human. So what if you can still use your power? One of its arms swelled grotesquely. It shouted in challenge. It's just you now? What can you possibly do? I'll show you true despair. A sneer spread across Goliath's face. But Zhongyi didn't flinch. He waved his hand. A blinding light tore across the sky. A massive foot came crashing down. The ground shook violently as Braun appeared, kneeling on one knee. Zhongyi gasped. What is that? He even has a summoned beast. Goliath's eyes widened. Braun, why are you here? Zhongyi frowned. So the insect beast lord from the secret realm has a name. Are they connected? Braun, stay. Then he raised his giant fist and punched Goliath. Goliath blocked the hit, but roared in fury. So you betrayed us and became a human's dog. It staggered back, eyes blazing with hatred. Braun didn't hesitate. He pointed at Goliath and attacked again. A sharp sword materialized in Goliath's hand. It charged at Braun, blade swinging with brutal force. Braun drew his own sword to block, steel clashed and sparks flew. Zhongyi watched the two monsters fight, completely stunned. This creature was overpowering even evolved Goliath. She stared at Zhongyi's back. Who is he really? Is he even human? A monster that strong actually listens to him. The two titans collided again and again, shaking the entire battlefield. Suddenly, debris shot toward Zhongyi and Zhongyi. Zhongyi casually waved them aside. then turned back concerned. Are you okay? Zhongdi looked at him with a strange expression. Zhongyi forced a smile. Why are you staring at me like that? You're scaring me. She clasped her hands, eyes sparkling. After this, let me dissect, research, no examine you. Zhongyi froze. Great. The scientist found out everything. He raised a hand nervously. Wait, actually. She patted his shoulder with a bright smile. No need to lie. I'll keep your secret. Then she ran off excitedly. Hurry up and finish Goliath and finding a safe spot. The two monsters went all out in a brutal duel. Goliath heard them and snarled. Finish me quickly. Are you looking down on me? It sneered. Even if you both rush me once I boost my resistance speed, you can't hurt me. Braun clenched his fists confused. Big bro, why won't this guy break? This is weird. Zhongyi smirked coldly. Who said I only have one trait? He bent forward slightly. 4 colorful tails burst out behind him, dripping toxic hunter venom. Fire and lightning from the horned beast. Corrosive slime layered on top. Man stacked the whole build. How many attributes do I have? Even I lost count. Goliath panicked, stumbling back. This isn't human. In that split second, Braun came from behind with a flaming punch. Goliath blocked and jumped back, body trembling now. Flames burned its flesh, and before it reacted, Zhongyi was already behind it. The 4 tails fired beams of color straight at Goliath. A massive explosion tore the ground apart. Goliath screamed in agony. Zhongdi froze off to the side, shielding her eyes. The older sister shouted, "Watch out!" A blurry figure stood inside the dust. Slowly, be clear. Her eyes widened in shock. The sound of blood dripping echoed. Goliath had pierced straight through Zhongyi's body. Zhongyi roared through the pain. As long as I kill you, I can still win. Suddenly, Goliath was blasted into the air. Zhongyi swung his sword. One flash, the head flew clean off. He looked down coldly. Forgot to mention, I also have the immortal serpent trait. Goliath's head rolled on the ground, barely alive. Cheater, I refuse to accept this. Zhongyi stepped forward, standing tall before it. Zhongdi stood nearby, heart pounding. The older sister silently observed this mysterious man. Zhongdi smiled in relief, but something still felt off. Braun shouted excitedly. Goliath suddenly lunged and grabbed Zhongyi's leg, but he just frowned in disgust. Then he dropped to one knee. He reached toward Goliath's head. The system alerted during evolution. Goliath formed multiple traits. Cannot predict which one you will obtain. Zhongyi touched the green slime on the ground. He lifted it, eyes shining. If I gain its magic crystal nullification ability, it'll be untouchable. And without hesitation, he swallowed it. Instantly, strange growth spread across his body. The system blared warnings. The mutation crawled up to his face. Frost began covering him, sealing him completely in ice. The next day, inside the Zhong family's private manor, Zhongyi lay motionless, his body still trapped inside that strange ice. Aylin stood by the bed, worried. Why did he turn into this? Zhongdi held a report. Serious, his vitals are stable. He should wake soon. The older sister took a deep breath. There's something you all need to know. Zhongdi paused, eyes sharp. She stunned both Aylin and Zhongdi. I don't think he's human. She pointed at the research board. He looks human, talks like us, thinks like us. But his DNA is completely different. Zhongdi frowned. Maybe he took on a human form to blend into our world. Aylin looked at her, totally confused. Zhongyi slowly regained consciousness. His thoughts were hazy. Good, still alive. What happened to me? A strange yellow creature floated before him. The system spoke calmly. You swallowed Goliath's core. The cold traits inside were unstable and conflicting. Your body rejected them. The golden serpent hovered closer. Don't worry, the side effects will pass soon. Aylin stepped closer to the bed, quietly watching Zhongyi. Zhongdi stood beside the bed, voice low. He carries dozens of monster traits, even Goliath's evolved ones. The older sister stared at Zhongyi. If he can nullify magic crystals like Goliath, he'll be a massive threat to humanity. Zhongdi's tone hardened. Before he regains consciousness, this is our last chance. Aylin frowned. What are you saying? Lock him up. Zhongdi lowered her head, silent. The older sister continued coldly. No, he's more dangerous than evolved Goliath. The safest way is... Zhongdi cut in, shocking everyone. Eliminate the threat completely. Zhongzhou rushed to the bedside, arms spread. I don't agree. Even if you're my sister, you're not touching my big brother. She snapped back. That's exactly why I called you two here. If this leaks, he's dead for sure. Aylin clenched her fists. No. Since day one in Minghai has been fighting monsters, I believe he stands with us. Zhongji nodded firmly. Exactly. Tears streamed down his face. Even if he's a monster, can he be a good one? Aylin and Zhongzhai shouted together. Shut up. Lying in bed, Zhongyi felt uneasy. Are they deciding how to deal with me? Zhongde's eyes turned sharp. How do you know he isn't pretending? Don't forget. The older sister's face darkened. Back then, we thought Goliath was harmless too. And what happened? The memories hit hard. 2 Goliaths roaring, the grown one calling its kind. The base surrounded, the children who raised it all dead. Buildings burned in her memory. Humans nurtured it. It grew up just to destroy the largest stronghold outside Minghai. Zhongdi clenched her fists. If we spare him and he turns on us, hundreds of thousands will die because we hesitated. Aylin faltered under that logic. He's a monster. Suddenly, she remembered Zhongyi reaching out to pull her up. Him standing tall with a staff, facing monsters alone. The fortress isn't done yet, she whispered. His serious face flashed in her mind. If they won't save people, then I will. Aylin gritted her teeth. Zhongyi, you're not our enemy. She stepped forward. Then do it. Zhongde's face darkened, eyes icy. Her hand tightened around the controller, thumb hovering over the button. Machinery roared above Zhongyi's head. Charge needles powered up, energy building fast. Suddenly, she flinched as a voice echoed in her memory. The one who opens the gate will die. It's too dangerous. She remembered Zhongyi smiling. Leave the gate to me. You retreat? Zhongde's heart shook. Zhongyi saved me. Memories of him joking with Goliath surfaced. Then Goliath's twisted grin flashed through her mind, pulling her back. She looked at Zhongyi's body. But in the end you're still a monster. She remembered him carrying her, that sincere look in his eyes. Can I really trust him? The charged needle aimed straight at Zhongyi. Her finger trembled over the button. Eren suddenly shouted, firm and loud. Zhongdi, don't forget he helped Zhongjai defeat Tony Olaf in the tournament. He defended the wall against the monsters. When everyone rushed to the Institute to save you, it was him who saved your lives. Zhongyi listened quietly, eyes calm. Eren's voice softened. You're afraid he might become our enemy one day. But without him we would even be standing here. Her words hit Zhongdi hard. Eren clenched her fists. The Zhongdi I know doesn't ask others about decisions she's already made. If you really wanted him dead, why call us here? She stepped closer and shouted. Admit it, you don't want to kill him either. Zhongjai suddenly blocked the bed.
Please, sis, don't.
Zhongdi looked down at the controller in her hand. Her eyes weighed. Then she slammed it to the floor. The needles above shut down instantly. Zhongzhou lit up. That's more like it. Lin let out a quiet breath of relief. Suddenly a voice spoke. Thank you. All three froze. Zhongyi slowly sat up, calm as ever. Thank you for choosing to trust me. Lin stared. Since when were you? He crossed one leg over the bed and smiled. I woke up when you started arguing. He couldn't even hide the grin. Zhongyi adjusted his glasses, looking a bit awkward. He looked at all three. I can't explain everything yet, but I promise I won't betray your trust. Lin spoke firmly. His body's secret cannot leak to anyone. She glanced at Zhongdai, asking for silent agreement. Suddenly Lin's phone buzzed. She read the message and went pale. Something happened. Vice Captain Lin, get to the hospital now. At Minghai General Hospital. The four rushed in. Zhongyi suddenly stopped, stunned. The lobby was filled with wounded people. A curly-haired soldier with his left eye bandaged asked, Nagayan Jiang, got any painkillers? The straight-haired guy beside him sighed. No idea. Just endure it. The curly-haired one forced a smile. I'll find someone to change your bandage later. The other replied bitterly. Who's even going to care for us? Zhongyi's blood boiled. Slaughter squad members covered in blood, lying everywhere. Where are the medical staff? A loud shout came from a nearby room. A man in black yelled at the hall, barking orders at the nurses. A nurse rushed in nervously. I'll handle it right away. Inside she carefully said, Sir, please lie down, don't walk around. The man in black snapped, shut up. In the room, several men in black were casually playing cards, laughing. 5 aces, I fold. You're folding. Laughter erupted. Zhongyi frowned. One side dying unattended, the other side partying. So the army plans to let the slaughter squad bleed out here. Suddenly, a shout rang out. Vice Captain Lin, Director Zhong. A man in black grabbed a wounded youth by the collar. Who allowed you to use these meds? He tightened his grip. All medicine and equipment are under military control, allocated by the city defense army. Don't you know that? Zhongda's veins popped on her forehead. Rage filled her eyes. She shouted back. Those supplies were donated by the Zhong family to the slaughter squad. They don't belong to. The silver-haired man cut her off. I don't care where they're from. If they're here, we requisition them. Take everything. Su, arm still in a cast, bit off his bandage and charged forward. Bastard. He pulled a blade from his waist and pointed it at the man. I'll fight you. The silver-haired man stepped back, stammering. You, what are you doing? But he didn't notice the real threat behind him. Zhongyi's fist came out of nowhere and smashed into his face. Blood sprayed as the punch sent him flying straight into the wall. The man holding the medicine box froze, mouth wide open. Zhongyi walked forward slowly, killing intent in his eyes. One breath from him was enough to make the guy tremble. He calmly took back the medicine box. Then he helped Shu to his feet. Shu looked at him with pure gratitude. The silver-haired man coughed violently and roared. Slaughter squad, are you trying to rebel? Zhongyi turned around, cold as ice. Sorry, I'm not even part of the slaughter squad. His arms stretched out like rubber, grabbing forward. I'm just a random passerby who finds you annoying. Suddenly Thabit blocked the strike. Zhongyi froze mid-move. He stared in shock. Someone actually caught his arm. City Defense Major General Thabit had arrived. The silver-haired guy screamed like he saw a savior. Major General Thabit! Thabit squeezed hard. The force crushed Zhongyi's hand bones into fragments. The system instantly sounded a fracture warning. Without a word, Thabit lunged like a predator. He grabbed Zhongyi by the throat and slammed him into the ground. The floor cracked on impact. Lin rushed forward in panic. Zhongdai grabbed her arm. Don't act rashly, they're provoking us. If the slaughter squad moves, this explodes. Thabit looked down coldly. Assaulting military personnel in a controlled zone, that's rebellion. You're under arrest. Zhongyi was pinned to the ground, unable to resist. Outside the building, in the highest defense council room of Minghai City, a voice reported calmly. 2/3 of the city damaged. Slaughter squad casualties exceed half the army. Roz slammed the table. I've seen the numbers. The Abyss threat is gone. Time to resume the selection tournament. Kishi glanced sideways, staying calm but alert. Zhenting frowned at the proposal. Razi's mind was clearly plotting something. Heavy losses in the slaughter squad. Perfect chance to plant our people inside and control them from the ground up, he announced firmly. Round 2 of the tournament will begin tomorrow. The girl with glasses behind Kiri objected. Many contestants are still injured. They need treatment. Unlike certain investigators who never hit the front lines. Roz stared at her silently, eyes sharp as blades. Kiri raised a hand. Captain, that's enough. The girl frowned but stayed quiet. Seeing no objections, Roz finalized it. The City Defense Army will oversee the tournament. Major General Thabit will supervise round 2. At the military prison interrogation room, Thabit roared. You humiliated my disciple Tony Olaf in front of all Minghai. He had Zhongyi chained and hung upside down. It was you, wasn't it? Zhongyi dangled there, annoyed but helpless. Thabit turned away and ordered coldly, make sure none of them can compete again. Understood, the soldiers answered in unison. Yes, sir. Zhongyi glanced at the others chained nearby. None of them were from the 4 great families. Are they planning to? Suddenly, the prisoners on the ground trembled in fear. Soldiers carried spike batons on their shoulders, grinning wickedly. Zhongyi suddenly shouted, grabbing attention. The baton wielder turned glaring. Zhongyi smirked. Untimi. I can solo all you trash by myself. He thought calmly. I have the immortal trait. I can recover fast. But the others, they won't survive this. The soldiers exploded in anger and switched targets to Zhongyi. One barked, so Eric beat him first. They dropped him to the ground. The moment he landed, one rushed in. A spiked fist smashed into his stomach. Another slammed a heavy baton onto his head. 2 pinned him down and beat him nonstop, still cocky now. Blood sprayed everywhere, his body bruised and battered. A soldier laughed, still acting tough. The system whispered coldly, let them continue. It explains that traces of his past crystallization still linger in his body, and this is the perfect chance to repair it. Zhou Yi finally gets it. So that's what's going on. Following the sarcastic advice, he sneers, didn't eat enough. Then try hitting my face. The soldier's face darkens instantly.
Yeah, he's pissed.
He throws a brutal punch straight at Zhou Yi's face. No mercy. Tech Chem watches Zhou Yi shield everyone with his own body and feels quietly grateful. Zhou Yi, you stood up for strangers like us. Please just hold on. The soldiers keep beating him. Blood splatters everywhere. One yells, hit his stomach. Not hard enough. Again. And then, Zhou Yi suddenly spits a mouthful of blood right into a soldier's face. The others panic. Wait, we didn't beat him to death, did we? Zhou Yi lowers his head completely still. The silence gets awkward. Oh, did he actually scare them? Then Zhou Yi suddenly springs up, smirking. Didn't feel a thing.
The soldier snaps, keep going!
Out of nowhere, a strange light flashes across the wall. A massive explosion shakes the place. Everyone turns. Through the smoke, Kilai's squad steps out. The soldier's face turns pale. Captain! With a single slash, Kilai destroys the prison gate. Aylin walks in and shouts, release them! From the shadows, Tabi starts clapping slowly. As expected of Captain Kilai, the strongest awakened, his tone pure mockery. That gate had 36 layers of alloy. One slash and it's gone. Tabi sneers. People say city guards are arrogant tyrants. Looks like your extermination squad isn't much better. He walks up with a smug smile. These people were suspected of assaulting soldiers. Potential rebels. We detained them legally. So Captain, here for an explanation. Even after those nasty words, Kilai stays calm, not a word. Tabi throws an arm over him like they're buddies. But we've cleared things up. Just a misunderstanding. Fake respect on his face, venom in his voice. Under the so-called admiration for Captain Kilai, he signals to let them go. The girl with glasses and tan Lu look furious. Their eyes could burn him alive. Tabi turns to leave, then suddenly stops. With a meaningful tone, he drops a bomb. By the way, I'll be the examiner for the next selection round. His voice turns icy. I've memorized all your faces. He scans the crowd like a blade. See you tomorrow at the competition. He pauses, staring straight at the battered Zhou Yi. Especially you. Scene shifts. After release, the group is escorted back to the City Research Institute. The extermination squad members are moved into temporary medical rooms. Inside, it's chaotic, people getting treated. Bodies lying on beds everywhere. Aylin runs around organizing supplies, medicine piled up, no space left. She glances at Zhou Yi's bed, empty. Where did Zhou Yi go? The curly-haired guy points upstairs, saw him heading to the rooftop. On the rooftop, Zhou Yi is smashing a punching bag, roaring. Damn it! Every punch echoes. From a distance, Aylin watches him. Her face filled with frustration, no words. Zhou Yi keeps punching, anger boiling over. Isn't the extermination squad humanity's last hope? Then why are we treated like enemies? Each punch carries his injustice. A city-saving hero treated like trash. He spirals harder. The Goliath Research Institute could have made awakened one stronger, but they'd rather let monsters destroy it than retrieve the results. His fury toward Tabi's competition burns hotter. He shouts hoarsely, and that selection contest wasn't it meant to recruit the strongest awakened to reclaim lost territory? How did it become a playground for noble families? He dumps every ounce of rage into the bag.
Damn it,
Bastards! Punch after punch, then suddenly, a small hand catches his fist midair. Zhou Yi freezes and turns. It's Aylin. He looks slightly flustered as she steps closer. Suddenly, Aylin rises on her tiptoes and plants a soft kiss on his cheek. Zhou Yi freezes, eyes wide, face red, heart pounding like crazy. He stumbles back, practically steaming. She just kissed me. Aylin calmly asks, so feel better now? Like a kid caught red-handed, he nods obediently. She turns and says gently, come on, have a drink with me. Still blushing, he hesitates. Oh.
Okay.
He grabs his jacket by the punching bag and quietly follows her. Scene shift, a cozy little whiskey bar. Zhou Yi and Aylin sit at the counter. His face is still red. He stares at his glass. What was that just now? Does she like me? The more he thinks, the redder he gets. Heart racing. If she asks me to go home with her, do I say yes? Suddenly, Aylin stands up and smacks his head. What are you thinking? Didn't you hear me? He rubs the bump, wincing.
Yeah.
I heard you. I'll do what you said. Slightly drunk, Aylin mutters, good. Then skip the competition tomorrow. Half asleep, he goes Then he jolts upright. Wait, skip it. Why? I actually agreed. Aylin takes a sip and explains slowly. The military wants to be the only armed force in Mingai City. They replaced the examiner with their own man. They'll torture you and the other candidates so you can't compete. They're trying to swallow the extermination squad whole. Hearing that, Zhou Yi's resolve ignites. Then I definitely can't quit. Aylin slams her glass down. You still don't get it. The extermination squad has no chance anymore. She lowers her head, voice heavy. If we don't resist, they'll slowly take control. If we fight back, they'll brand us rebels and wipe us out. Zhou Yi's eyes dim, but he says nothing. The night sky is eerily calm, like a storm waiting to explode. Drunk, Aylin slumps over the table mumbling, "Just listen to me." Even half-conscious, she worries about him. "You already have power. If you leave this place, you'll live better." He watches her fall asleep, gentle, silent. Joey takes a sip of whiskey. "Should I really leave?" First time drinking it, he instantly spits it out. "That's disgusting." A voice sounds from behind, never drank before. Joey turns. "Captain!" Ola walks over and sits calmly beside him. Joey lowers his voice. Back at the base, only leaders were allowed to drink this. The bartender asks. The usual. Olaf nods.
"Yeah, 1 bottle.
After hearing Aylin's story, Joey asks quietly, "Captain, do you think the extermination squad still has hope?" Olaf doesn't answer directly. "How does it feel living in Mingai City?" Joey smiles faintly. "Peaceful, almost like before the apocalypse." Olaf smiles. "That's why we exist, so people can live like that again. As long as that ideal stands, there will always be those who want to join us." He glances at Joey. "Do you share that ideal?" Joey's eyes sharpen instantly, "Of course." Olaf's smile. The bartender brings the bottle. "Your drink." Olaf nods. "Thanks." He grabs it and heads out, adding, "Put this on their tab." The bartender nods immediately. Joey shouts, "Hey! Old man, you're seriously making us pay?" Olaf laughs. "Looking forward to your performance tomorrow?" The next, at the state, the host's voice booms. "Brave citizens of Mingai City! Under the great leadership of Councillor Lu Oslop, we once again defeated the monsters!" The crowd roars as he continues. And now, during this glorious celebration, the long-awaited selection tournament begins once more. The audience erupts in non-stop cheer. The host points to the arena. "Allow me to introduce the judge for the second round." Tabi frowns impatiently, already tired of the long-winded speech. The audience gasps in unison. "That's Major General Tabi!" He shoves the host aside, arms crossed, face cold and arrogant. "I'm a soldier. I don't talk much. The rules are simple." He jumps down into the arena. "Last 3 minutes on this stage and you pass." Standing center stage, chin raised. "Who's first? Come." In the contestant seats, Lugio stiffens at the name Tabi. She mutters under her breath, "Tabi." Joey notices. "You know him." Lugio nods. "Has the instructor for this year's trainees." Her eyes drift. "They call him the 100-Slayer War God. Less than a year in the army, and he set the record for killing Abyss Lords. Still unbeaten." Cut to the arena. The first contestant steps up. "Begin!" The host shouts. The guy charges in with a hammer, going for a surprise attack. Tabi barely glances at him, then snaps a brutal kick straight to his face. One kick. First contestant. The hammer guy flies off the stage, slams into the wall, blood spraying everywhere. Tabi's eyes glow red like a predator. He smirks. "Forgot to mention, no restrictions. Afraid to die. Drop out now." The remaining contestants panic. Isn't this supposed to showcase talent? Since when does the judge go this savage? Tekkes steps onto the stage. "Next contestant," the host calls. Suddenly, he turns and runs the opposite direction from Tabi. The host blurts out, "Has running the wrong way!" As he sprints, he remembers yesterday's prison nightmare. "I barely escaped once. Just survived 3 minutes. Yeah, easier said than done." In a blink, Tabi appears right behind him. No warning. A crushing kick slams down like a hammer. The impact cracks the ground. Joey's eyes widen. That speed, even with that bulky build, he closed the gap instantly. "No terrain here. Running won't save you." Next, another contestant rushes in and drives a punch straight into Tabi's abdomen. The host explodes. "He hit him! Someone finally hit Major General Tabi!" In the stands, Zhong Chen whispers proudly, "As expected of our family's fighter." Tabi exhales lightly. A sharp cracking sound comes from his armor. The attacker freezes, confused. Suddenly, his blasted backward. His arm shatters, blood everywhere. Joey gasps. "What just happened?" Lu Jiao explains that's Tabi's ability. Any damage his body can endure gets reflected back to the attacker. Joey recalls their first clash. "So that's why I got hurt back then." Zhong Chen panics. "Then what do we do? Can't hit him. Can't outrun him." Tabi calls again, voice icy. This time, someone from Tabi's faction steps up, military posture. "Salutes, Major General!" Tabi's expression softens slightly. He doesn't move, just nods past. The easy pass leaves the entire stadium stunned. Joey and Aylin expected bias. "But this... A Buzzcut guy in the crowd blurts out, "Isn't that favoritism?" The man in blue beside him whispers, "You want to die." Buzzcut looks down and realizes the front row is full of soldiers. His face goes pale. He forces a laugh. "Amazing, truly amazing!" The blue shirt guy nudges him. "Clap, now." Instantly, thunderous applause fills the stadium. Joey and Zhong Chen stand up, stunned. Why is everyone cheering this injustice? Cutscene, the forced applause keeps echoing. In the corridor leading to the arena. On one side, the candidates for the extermination squad. Some beaten half to death, carried away on stretchers. On the other side, the military candidates walk out smiling. This competition, easy. 2 nearby contestants stare at the injured faces, pale. What do we even do? Suddenly, a tall figure appears at the entrance. Lu Oslop's deep voice echoes, "Last chance." He looks around coldly. Anyone else want to join the city guard? The tension spikes instantly. The blonde guy and old Zuzi frown. The blonde mutters, "No choice." Then he drops to his knees and kisses Lu Oslop's shoe. Lu nods, satisfied. The military candidates burst out laughing. Look at him, like a trained dog. Watching this, Olaf's face darkens. Bullying people like this, damn it, and withdrawing. Lu Oslop says nothing, just shoots a cold glance toward Zuzi. Cutscene, a splash of strawberried blood fills the screen. Tabi stands firm, hands in pockets, staring at the unconscious contestant at his feet. Next, the host points to the board. "Number 21, Lu Jiao!" From afar, Lu Jiao walks forward slowly. The soldiers freeze. "Wait, it's her." "Yeah, that's her." Lu Jiao steps onto the stage, tense. The soldiers sneer. "The traitor." In the waiting area, Joey calls out, "Be careful. If you can't hold on, don't force it." Lu Jiao calmly replies, "I understand." On stage, she lifts her chin. There's no surrender. She walks forward, aura blazing. Taeba's eyes flicker. Didn't expect you'd dare stand before me again. Killing intent flashes. Lu Jiao says nothing. She grips her spear tighter, ready. Fight begins. The host shout. The moment it starts, Lu Jiao moves first. She raises her spear, lightning erupts at the tip. Heavenly thunder wrath. Juncture that casting speed, help! That Yi smiles. She's been charging power since the last match. The lightning fires out. The air itself goes heavy. The host yells, what a shocking attack! But how will Lu Jiao handle the judge's counter? Lu Jiao just smiles confidently at Tabi. The host stammers, wait, nothing happened. Tabi's body smokes, the smell of burnt flesh rising. His eyes narrow, so she knows as long as she doesn't make direct contact, the reflection won't trigger. Realizing this, Tabi bursts forward to close the gap. The host shouts, can Lu Jiao launch another attack in time? Tabi smirks like a predator. An attack like that won't take me down. His speed tears through the air. No, she's out of time, the host cries. Suddenly, Tabi's eyes widen, his body jerks to a stop. He looks down. Black lightning shoots up from the blood pooled at his feet. From the blood, he mutters. The lightning spreads, locking his body. Imparalyzed. Lu Jiao smirks, you thought I was charging a second strike. No, I was luring you here. She planned this before stepping on stage. She explains, all this blood from the injured contestants. My lightning hid inside it. This is phase 2. The host screamed, unbelievable! Lu Jiao had a backup plan. Tabi is completely restrained. Tabi grits his teeth. The paralysis is stronger than I thought. Lu Jiao presses forward, eyes blazing. She spins up another surge of lightning. I don't need to defeat you. I just need to last 2 more minutes. Back to the arena. Tabi is trapped, locked inside a lightning cage powered by the very blood he spilled. The host clenches his fist. Lu Jiao's strategy worked! She's restrained Judge Tabi! Suddenly, Tabi goes silent. His muscles bulge and he rips his shirt apart. Lu Jiao keeps charging lightning at her spear tip. Before I stepped on stage, every person you abused handed me this chance. Their blood and my lightning built this cage. Even with captain-level strength, you're not breaking out anytime soon. She talks tough, but inside she's tense. What if he breaks free? Tabi suddenly speaks. There's something I've always wanted to ask you. He stares her down. You were already in the elite squad. A better future than your peers. So why betray us? Why? She needs time. Calm voice, you want to know why? Fine. Her eyes dim slightly. Let me remind you what you did. Simping refinement. Lu Jiao stands battered, breathing hard, fists clenched. Stop wasting time. Come at me together. The soldiers' faces darken. Who do you think you're looking down on? They charge her all at once. Suddenly, Shenki drops in with a flying kick straight to a soldier's face. The guy flies back, blood spraying. The others freeze. Shenki, Lu Jiao's best friend, storms in like a whirlwind. Lu Jiao stunned. No hesitation, Shenki rushes the next target. She twists midair and drives a punch into the curly-haired soldier. His face caves in, he drops unconscious. The blonde soldier panics and steps back. He forgets Lu Jiao is right behind him. In a blink, his scream echoes, blood splashes everywhere. Moments later, soldiers are scattered across the ground. Exhausted, Lu Jiao drops to one knee, gasping. Shenki walks over and offers her a hand. One last assessment left, Shenki says firmly. Let's rank up together. Lu Jiao smiles, her eyes burn with determination. She grabs Shenki's hand. Deal. Scene shift. Rain pours down. The final assessment begins. On the field, Lu Jiao faces her best friend. To join the elite squad, they must fight each other. In the corner, Tabi watches. Begin. They don't hesitate, both charge in. The rank-up battle explodes. A bolt of lightning flashes between fate and betrayal. Rain falls hard, punches collide, flesh and impact echo through the storm. In a split second, Shenki grabs Lu Jiao's shoulder. She leaps up, fist raised for the finishing blow. Lu Jiao freezes, she's faster, she closes her eyes, it's over. Suddenly, Shenki stops, head lowered, hair hiding her face. Silence. Lu Jiao opens her eyes and sees Shenki collapse at her feet. Shenki looks up weakly, you win. Lu Jiao stands frozen, she let me win. In the distance, Tabi takes a drag from his cigarette, eyes cold. Then he tosses a gun in front of them. Both girls stare at it confused. Tabi sighs lazily, getting old, forgot to mention one rule. His eyes turn vicious. To win this match, you must kill your opponent. Their pupils shrink, shock hits hard. Lu Jiao trembles. But you never said the loser would get another chance! She shouts, no! That's not happening! Shenki stays silent, frowning, torn inside. Suddenly, the remaining gold promotion candidates started shouting from behind, I quit! I surrender! Let us go! Then gunshots exploded. The soldier who spoke up was instantly gunned down by Thabit's men. The brown-haired soldier stumbled back, hands up, voice shaking, begging for his life. Before he could finish, a bullet blew through his head. Brain matter splashed across the screen. The brutal scene froze Lu Dao's green eyes in pure fear. She and Shen Ka finally understood. Disobey Thabit and you die, simple as that. Shen Ka's face burned with anger as she screamed, why? They fought all the way here! Thabit exhaled smoke, eyes cold, obey or die. Hearing that, Lu Dao glanced at Shen Ka, whispering firmly, no, he'll never shoot her. The hesitation lasted a second. Guns were aimed at Lu Dao and Shen Ka. Countdown started. With no way out, Shen Ka slowly bent down and picked up the gun. Lu Dao just stood there stunned. Shen Ka turned, gave Lu Dao a soft smile, sad, regretful. Lu Dao looked back, eyes trembling, words stuck in her throat. Then she understood. Her gaze softened. It's fine, you were meant to win. I could never pull the trigger on you. But Shen Ka suddenly pressed the gun to her own temple, still smiling. Rain poured as she whispered on. A gunshot ripped through the storm. Lu Dao watched her best friend choose death so she could live. Blood splattered across Lu Dao's frozen face. As Shen Ka's body grew cold, their old promise echoed, we'll rank up together. Thabit stood behind them the whole time. He watched the tearful tragedy and mocked under the endless rain. Why are you the one who survived? Scene cuts back to the present arena. Lu Dao grips her spear, lightning raging around her. You destroyed the most precious memory of my life. Your inhuman rules are worse than monsters. Her eyes burn with pure hatred. Now I'll take revenge myself on you, Thad.